Hello. Ito pa lang yung pwede. Ito pa lang. Ito pa ba? Ito pa lang. Ako muna, G. Ako muna. G ba yan? Yun na mo. Ako yan. Ako yan. Alam na. Ako yan. Ako yan. Kaya may nakita akong bago. May nakita akong combo kay Ritual sa Primal Beat. Dark Fear. Dark Fear, putak inang OC. Lifetime. I play Dark Fear. I support the Primal Border. Oh, Crystal. Ang bobog.
Good afternoon, Summoners, and welcome to the Prominence Crown Cup Season 2 League of Legends. We had a lot of action yesterday, but now we're going to move into the bronze match and the grand finals. We'll be your shoutcasters for that. I'm Hyron. With me is Giang Gaming. Kamusta, Giang?
Actually, I'm really excited for this. Lots of surprises have been made since yesterday, starting with the reverse sweep of West Point Esports Academy. Yeah, fantastic series on our first game yesterday, and then followed up by a strong finish, but also a good fight by Sadbois yesterday. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out into a win for them, and Ataraxia Blue managed to bag their 2-0 against them. And now we're going to be starting this afternoon, with a battle for third place between Sadbois and West Point Esports Team 1, followed up by a best of 3 series for the battle for the top spot this time, the grand finals between West Point Esports Academy and Ataraxia Blue.
Yeah, and I have to imagine if you're a Sadbois fan and you find out, bronze match is against West Point Esports Team 1, who is such a powerful team from a well-known organization. Of course, we do know that this roster from West Point Esports Team 1 has been making waves in local tournaments and, of course, in the local national team selection for who's going to be representing the Philippines as well. And also, this is a very storied roster. It's actually very surprising to me that West Point Esports Academy was able to beat them. But that just goes to say how much that both of these teams know each other. West Point Esports Academy and, of course, their Team 1. There's an organization that nurtures their talents, and so, of course, the gap can close much faster than we'd normally see on a tournament-winning roster such as Team 1. Meanwhile, Sadbois, they have been they've had a few fans here and there, and then if you're a supporter of Sadbois as well, make some noise in the chat, like, follow, share, and of course, exclamation point notify tayo dyan sa comments tayo, and stay tuned to the stream for a chance to win $10. I think we have 2 winners left for that promo that we're gonna be having, and of course, support these teams as well. If you're a West Point Esports fan, make some noise. I'm sure maraming WPE fans out there, and it's going to be a very exciting first best of 3, explosive agad, since this is, of course, a national winning roster here on the side of West Point Esports.
Yeah. In terms of foundation, West Point Esports Team 1 really have proven themselves being so strong. On the side of Sadbois, they have to really showcase themselves on how they can match up onto this established team. And well, yesterday we didn't see that in terms of wins, but we did see some attempts on their draft. Them having the creative picks like the Cho'Gath and the Gwen in the jungle, and we talked about this off stream. Like it's not really the best pick as of the moment due to the changes in terms of the patch. However, we did see them on the second game yesterday showing some light. They actually almost turned the game around. It was just unfortunate for them that there was a play yesterday of 3-1-1-3, the Shockwave surprising Quitlol muna as the Corki, and it turned into a disaster for them. So maybe in this battle for third spot, they would be able to patch their small mistakes, improve a little or maybe significantly like West Point Esports Academy yesterday, and maybe just maybe, it's not impossible to take down these Titans.
Yeah, and Quitlol Muna is one of those mid players that they can really play around, which is apparent naman from their draft. They had the Zillion, Osagi123 on the Zillion. They have the Boss on Shen. So these two champions already indicate that they are putting all their eggs in one basket here. Or actually, it's technically 2 baskets since they have the Jin and the Corki. But of course, if we're talking about it, Corki is in a much better position to go for a late game scaling, even though it's not really a hyper carry. Usually when you see Zillion, you see Shen, you're protecting 180 carry, like in 1v5 if you enchant them. Corki, while very, very powerful and has a lot of utility, doesn't really have that same gravitas in terms of late game carrying as a hyper carries, right? So say Aphelios and Kaisa, though Aphelios did get a small hit as well. Immediate ban here against Sadbois on the Scion. That's pretty much never allowed for Sadbois to go for their Scion here. And of course, Zeri, YJY Zeri is definitely very, very scary. So they're going to be taking that out of the equation already.
Yeah, they had a fantastic game yesterday, though it was off stream, but we did know some details. YJY having a fantastic scaling on this particular champion. They kind of survived all throughout the early game because Zeri kind of struggles on the early game due to the fact that he needs at least the Trinity Force and maybe the Titanic Hydra to do some damage. But on the 40-minute mark, they started to up their damage and be able to take down West Point Esports Academy during their first game. If we're seeing right now, tanks being removed, Cho'Gath being respected from yesterday's match of Sadbois against Ataraxia Blue, despite the struggle on the top lane by the buffs yesterday against against Angkor and Poise. But there's also that target of YJY on his hyper carries, Aphelios, the Zeri, even the Thresh as the support taken away.
Yeah, and of course, if we're talking about West Point Esports Team 1, one of the standouts as well as Cresho, who has a lot of history and has a very signature style when it comes to playing support. And when you're banning out a Cresho champion, you're not just banning out, you're not just hitting YJY, right? You're also hitting literally everyone else because of his signature style where he goes for more roams than your usual support. With a priority pick on the Ivern here is quite is quite surprising here on the side of West Point Esports. Usually when you look at Revelet, he wants to go for those junglers that can just
Lee Sin,
go in, go in, deal some damage and let the team clean it up, or maybe he's the one doing the cleanup himself with a Viego. But with a priority blue side pick, we're gonna have to see how that plays out for them, because that allows Sadbois to go for the Viego and the Kaisa.
Pretty standard pick this time as their adjustment on the side of Sadbois. This is the first time I'll be seeing West Point Esports Team 1 on the Ivern, particularly Ivern. This is an old meta, and it hasn't really been preferred by most people or most teams as their jungle pick, due to the fact that it doesn't really deal that much damage in the early game. More so, junglers prefer Xin Zhao, the Viego, the Lee Sin, Jarvan, as such, who can engage and provide the necessary damage to get those pick-offs. But speaking of pick-offs, maybe they can turn things around or make things spicy a little bit with the Ahri. So they do have the snare, they do have the follow-up, the shieldings and the charm, and the extra mobility, plus extra manpower because of the ultimate of Ivern, to kind of muscle up against Sadbois.
Yeah, there is a small possibility that this Ivern's actually gonna go like top side, but I don't think it's happening here. We're gonna have to see how the second draft plays out. But with a lot of bans here against Cresho, they didn't go for a Cresho champion in the first part of the pick phase here. So they're taking away a lot of these high threat roaming champions. And also, if you force Rakan or Thresh to stay in lane and don't let them roam, it's actually fine, because they can go for aggressive plays. The Xayah, Rakan, of course, even Xayah with a Thresh is very, very threatening as well. So taking that out of the equation just makes YJY set a little bit weaker. The Leona as well. So you see where their priorities are. They don't want to get engaged on. They want their mid lane and I guess in less extent their top lane to have a very comfortable laning phase and focus on keeping the bot lane in check, preventing Cresho from getting good roams. Relia being banned out is suggesting to me that they want to give Parzival. They want to give Parzival a comfortable lane on the top side, or we're going to have to see how the rest of this plays out. Akali, so solo lanes being hit here for Sadbois.
Yeah. However, they kind of maybe forgot to target one particular champion, Lux of Ben Jerkson, because it was actually banned out twice during their match against Ataraxia Blue. And now, since it was open, they did not hesitate on doing that. So maybe, just like what you said, they would want to prevent the roaming of Cresho. Having to bully bot lane, if this Lux is gonna go bot, is gonna help them do that, especially with the amount of damage that this particular champion can do. And speaking of safe sides, top side might be their safest one, since Urgot has that overall safe kit. He is ranged, he can deal damage at melee range, he can sustain himself, go in or out of harm's way, and even if he is battling against a Gnar which is kind of strong or similar as the Urgot, he's gonna be fine with it unless there is a really nice gank coming in from Revelate.
Yeah, and I actually do like the Urgot a lot. It's one of my favorite champions after he got reworked. Years before, I was like, Urgot's such a cool champion. I hope to see him in a competitive format. And here we're going to be seeing it in Prominence Crown Cup Season 2 League of Legends. Against the Gnar, actually has a pretty favorable matchup where he's able to trade well. If Gnar slips up, wastes the hop, he can go in and deal a lot of damage, and he's not going to be able to get out of range if he lets his escape. Like if he uses his escape early, and that's just going to be very, very tough, especially with Gnar, I think, got hit the most, along with Graves, right? But Graves' build is generally fine even without Hullbreaker. But without Hullbreaker, it's going to have to opt for a different first item here, because Hullbreaker is just bad on range champions right now after the 12.5 changes. So we're going to have to see how that plays out for them here as well. So yeah, this Ezreal mid lane here as well, going up against the Ahri. It's a little bit tough because for sure this Ahri is going to have all the time in the world to just clear the wave. Ezreal cannot match the wave clear and then go for a roam, get like a top lane dive, bot lane dive, and it's just a lot of resources taken by West Point Team 1. So yeah, this mid lane from Sadbois is going to have to work extra hard to keep that Ahri in check.
Lots of damage are present on the side of Sadbois. However, in terms of sustaining damage, they don't have quite a lot. They only have the buffs to be or to serve as their tank. Maybe the Viego a little bit due to the sustain that he does have on his passive. Whenever he gets a kill, he can just take the identity of their enemy and regen a little bit. But other than that, they need to be pretty safe or like dodge all those skill shots, all those sets, all those hooks that West Point Esports can throw at them. So many initiating tools are available on their side, and even if one misses, they have a lot of backups to actually throw against Sadbois, and that may be a problem for Sadbois, because even if Urgot becomes really tanky, he can get bullied so much by West Point Esports Team 1. So they have to like up their aggression against Team 1. They need to bully them out so that they won't hit their power spikes. Even if someone gets hit or someone gets hooked, they would be able to retaliate instead of retreating, because that can be the error in their composition right now. But I don't think they would hesitate at all in doing so, as we do see them having, you know, that double marksman setup, which is pretty common on the side of Sadbois. We saw them yesterday with the Corki and the Jhin that actually almost defeated Ataraxia Blue with their Oriana Aphelios combo. And
something's
in
off
this game,
about
though,
the roles here. Do you notice it?
they have
GG?
Lux, they have Kaisa.
No. Like here for West Point Team 1, or it might reflect differently when we get into the lobby, but these roles are not like they're different from what we know, right? Like Parzival,
I immediately thought that
Zanzaya.
Gnar would be on top lane.
Yeah, like what Revelate is picking it up as well on the Gnar, and we're pretty sure it's not going to be jungle Gnar, and YJY on the Ivern. So they might be mixing it up here as well to throw Sadbois' like bans.
This is a revelation.
Off, right? Yeah. But on the side, focusing on just the comps themselves and the themes that they've decided to pick up. Yeah, I think Sadbois has picked up a very space-heavy comp where they want to make space for themselves. They have the Lux, they have the Kaisa, of course, with the W. They have a lot of tools that they can use to just make space for themselves and maybe bait out aggression from West Point Esports Team 1. They don't really have a way to initiate themselves. The most is like a pick-off, right? A pick-off from a stun from the Viego or the E from Urgot. That's the biggest like initiation that they have is mostly single targets. So they're either going to have to bait West Point Esports Team 1 into going in, and then they can use their space creating tools to whittle them down, execute them with the Viego or the Urgot, and then they can steamroll from there. But for West Point Esports Team 1, they have a lot of tools to continue pressing the attack here in their favor, and I'm excited to see how this both of these teams play out, because this is a best of 3, so momentum is a very, very big thing. Going into Game 2 with 1 win already puts you in a very comfortable spot.
And, Nar in the jungle. Or Nar, I don't know. I don't even know at this point. Them having so many different... there's a term like flex pick, but this time it's flex player. They're just changing their roles at this point, and they're not even hesitating at all in doing so. This might be kind of like a show match for them. And maybe it can work. Maybe, these players from West Point Esports are really high skilled, and having this kind of composition and change in their position might not even be that much of a problem for them. And yeah, we are gonna be confirming it. YJY is gonna be the jungler, and everyone's changing roles,
which is a sign of a very versatile team, right? You could say that they're expanding their horizons here, making sure that each player kind of knows what the other players are thinking at the moment, right? Like if you know how to play jungle, but you're usually a solo laner, but you know how a jungler feels, you're able to more easily read and be on the same page as your jungler in future games. So right now, it is indicating to me that West Point Esports is kind of like... I wouldn't say trolling. I think they're definitely taking this game seriously, but they're using it as a way. They're using this as a way to so that YJY knows what Revelate feels or what he's thinking in these situations. Let's have you play jungle, and everyone else is in that same situation where you're out of your comfort zone and you're being taught by experience to be on the same page as the rest of the team in future matches. So let's see how this plays out. They've got a... Oh no. Are they just going to go for the boss here? They're just going to go for an invade here, most likely, but...
Oh, the boss.
Let's see. Yeah, the boss shouldn't be seeing this, but might be too late. Urgot's not the fastest. He's going to get pulled in by the Blitzcrank. What a classic Blitzcrank level 1.
And you know what they say? Just because you have more legs doesn't mean you're faster, right? And you clearly see it on the Urgot. Pretty sad for the boss right there on top lane.
Oh, it's an extra longsword. That's screwed up. They get a longsword plus potion, because that was first blood, right? So this should mean that the boss's lane is going to be much more difficult than it should be. And West Point Esports with a early lead. Let's see if they can run away with it.
Yeah, I'm trying to recall though on mid lane matchup, Ben Jerkson kind of trying out. I do recall watching a game of KDZ versus T1 yesterday, and Faker actually used Kaisa in the mid lane. So this particular champion in the mid lane is not really new, and it can actually work since Kaisa really strives on like AP build right now, but Revelate is not gonna have a good time.
Yeah. Revelate tried trading. Was that a level 1? It was a level 1 trade against an Urgot, which is pretty much asking to... I guess parang partida niya. Binigyan siya ng like they just traded kills here to make the lane even, but that's definitely not the early trade that you want to be taking, right? Like you're getting those shotgun knees to the face. You don't have your boomerang. You don't have your W as well. So it's very weird that Revelate took that fight and did use a TP for that as well. And Crescio is gonna take down rather Ben Jurgsen in a minute. It's actually Ezreal in the bot lane here with Ben Jurgsen in the mid going for that Kaisa. So, gonna try for a gank here. XC's here gonna go for the stun onto Parzival. Is gonna flash away, but Closer's coming in with those shots. Mystic Shot's gonna fish him off. Calumnia has to jump out of there, gets the hook, trades back a kill against XC's, and that is actually pretty even. It is favoring Sadbois a little bit because this allows a Closer to continue CSing, but at least the wave isn't crashing immediately against West Point Esports.
Yeah, alongside with the gold funneling, XZ actually got the kill a while ago. One unfortunate for Closer because he wanted to get that auto attack, that last hit too. But for Calumnia, since he is the one that got the kill, not Parzival, it's not going to be benefiting on the scaling side of this Zaya, as he's just trying to catch up in terms of CS. He's not really that much behind on it as well, since there is a huge wave coming crashing onto the tower. Mid lane, well, Crasho is doing a really good job. He is just consistently shoving the wave, knowing that he has, well, YJY to back him up this time and not Revelate.
And here, it's okay. Revelate probably gonna bait boss here, but can
shield.
he get gets out of the way of the shotgun knees? That's important, and actually survives with a sliver of HP. Crasho still taking down Ben Jurgsen here. Very, very close, surprisingly, because of the plasma procs, but it's not going to come through as Crasho once again picks up a kill here. It's going to be XXE going to try for the finisher. Usagi here as well with a far roam. No light binding just yet, but it's quite enough that XZX is able to pick up the kill. And that is pretty even. Actually, this game is shaping out to be even after the initial first blood by West Point Esports T1.
Yeah, it's only the only goal difference is 500, which is not a lot considering that it is already like 5 minutes in. But things might just change since First Dragon is Infernal, and most, if not all, teams do really like the Infernal Dragon since it gives them a little bit of boost in terms of their damage. But I don't think Sadbois will be able to contest that much though, since there's a lot of initiating tools on the side of West Point Esports. They have the hook, they have all those sets and charms to kind of bait them out. It's really scary for anyone to contest that if ever that happens. But on the top lane, we're going to be seeing a 2v1 once again, but Lux this time is there.
Closer has to be careful. The hook still comes through. I think that's going to be a kill as Parzival picks it up. Calumnia with a patience there, not immediately for the hook, waiting for Closer to try and escape. And that's an easy kill for that bot lane. You know, top side, Revelate not going to fall for the gank here, but it is allowing the boss here to go for the push and shove the lane deep in. But it's going to be another gank here. YJY helping out Crasho with the root and with the charm. Should be an easy kill with Ben Jurgsen having no flash right there. So that's another kill. And Crasho's looking to extend his lead here and start roaming, most likely.
And looking really fine on their switch rolls.
He's gonna go for the knockup here. Charm, and he hasn't used his hook right there. There he goes, and Crasho gets the kill. So we're seeing a very weird game here where it seems like they are on the same page despite being off of their usual roles, and that's good. That tells us this roster is very versatile and in sync no matter where you put them.
That's what they call the AFK combo, you know? You have the hook, you have the knockup, you have the charm, the snare, everything to keep you not moving. And if you get hit by one, most likely you'll just get hit by the next. A while ago, it was unfortunate for Closer. He was all alone in the bot lane while Usagi was trying to gank top for the boss. And Ezreal just died due to the hook of Calumnia. Now it's the exact opposite. 2v1.
Parzival, though, and look at the damage from the Blade Caller. And Calumnia picks up the kill immediately. That's Parzival knowing the limits of the champion, right? Like pushing himself to the edge, getting this low despite the health deficit. He knows that after the Featherstorm into the Blade Caller, it should be enough for Calumnia to just pick up the kill. And West Point is just flexing their brain muscles here.
Their brain muscles.
They know how much damage their champions can do and how much punishment they can take. And that mid lane was also set up. You get the kill on Ben Jurgensen, the wave's going to crash, someone's going to have to catch it, and so they set up the kill here with a control ward, and Calumnia with Hex Flash earlier picked it up. So West Point Esports, not just mechanical skill, but also the setup here. Revelate having to jump over. Can he get kidnapped here by the boss? It doesn't seem like that's going to come through, and Revelate avoids death once again in the top lane.
Yeah, there's also a follow-up. Things might get spicy.
Yeah, this is going to end up as a fight here. Ben Jurgensen going to get pulled in by Calumnia, once again setting up a kill, giving it to Revelate. This should give them control of the Herald, but it doesn't seem like they're going for it immediately. Parzival getting pushed in here, but it should be fine. They got a lot of value from that top side gank.
Yeah, Sadbois.
But they're still fighting for it here. Oh, that's going to be Fear Beyond Death. YJY going down. I don't think West Point Esports is going to want to challenge after that. But look at that. Yeah, Parzival just dealing so much damage. Already has the Manamune. And he's slowly, actually very quickly charging him. He's already almost halfway through getting his Muramana here. So closer as well. With only a sheep.
Oh no.
Oh no. Ben Jurgensen's not having a good time here, getting knocked up. Gonna get hooked here. Does have the flash to save himself, and here comes XZX to try and save him. Does deny the kill. Cresho still has Spirit Rush. So if he is so inclined, he can go for a dive, but gonna be a little bit risky here with XCX around the corner. Calumnia gonna get a charm here, and the hook means that XCX might not be able to get the reset that he wants, and Cresho picks up the kill.
Yeah, cool guys don't look at explosions and fire as Calumnia walks away confidently as XC was burning to death. Parzival is having a good time also in the bot lane, considering that, well, this is new to me, like Airy on the Xayah. Normally I do see like a lethal tempo or fleet footwork to try and sustain in the lane and have that necessary damage, but this is definitely working for them. Manamune going to Muramana in a short while is already almost half his stacks up. They're not also prioritizing the dragon. They're focusing more on the kills because that's where they get their money from. And they don't necessarily need the dragon stacks anymore. Final Spark used to check the dragon, but nobody's there. So Sadbois are kind of confused.
Yeah, and I think at this point, West Point is kind of, okay, Dragon is going to give them an opening, right? So here Calumnia's going to go. Saves the hook, gets the charm in. That's just beautiful. And yeah, I think it's okay for them. Yeah, it's okay for them not to go for the Infernal Drake because in early game, Infernal Drake is very marginal, and it's going to give Sadbois an opening, right? It's going to give Sadbois an opening where they can maybe get a kill while the West Point is focusing on the Drake. So here, West Point just says, okay, let's just continue going for these like degenerate Blitzcrank ganks right there and extend their lead, because that's going to give us more damage in the short term than just going for the Infernal Drake, right? So that's what West Point's trying to do here. Sadbois going to have trouble matching that as well. Maybe when Closer finishes his first item here, is going to be a little bit easier. We're going to have to see. I don't think...
mythic item yet, or anything built on the side of Sadbois. Comparing to West Point Esports, Cresho being chased.
But
stays alive,
actually. Stays alive. Cresho is very adept at that, but it's going to be Revelate. Can he get the ult out? Can the boss actually get pulled out? No, just needs the auto attack as well. And that's going to be very, very close. What does West Point Esports have to trade for that? It seems like they just get pushed away. This is an opportunity for Sadbois to go for the Drake, but after taking out the Vision, this should be a small opportunity for them. Parzival can't really respond to there. And on the Airy, is there for like that is like a valid like rune path, right? Like if you're going more on the trading side, poking it out with the feathers, because I know the auto attacks proc the Airy, which is big, right? You just need to auto attack someone with your feathers up, and I think a little bit of revenge here for Revelate as they go for the Goon Squad against the boss. And
they even gave the kill to him.
Herald? Yeah, if they pick up the Herald here, they could go for a very heavy push here on top side.
They can go for that. They are getting the Rift Herald as of the moment. Cresho doesn't need any help. He's like 5-2 already, and he even has that Everfrost completed. So lots of crowd control, honestly, are present on the side of West Point Esports. It's hard to escape from them knowing that the draft of Sadbois can't really that much sustain that kind of level of crowd control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's also showing how much their movements are on point here. Look at the vision top side. Sadbois has no control over here, and I'm actually surprised that the boss is still pushing to try and lane here. And look at that. That's the power of the wards. You need to have your ward game on point against a Blitzcrank that's this ahead. And because they didn't have that ward game being on point, that just allowed Colombia to get another free kill. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was wondering why the boss was still lingering around top side.
Why are you still there?
When they know that they have no control over their own top side, a lot of the members of West Point are like, oh my god, the blade collar from the flash picking up a kill. It's going to end up as another trade, 1-for-1. But Closer does not have the HP to try and kind of like leverage that and continue CSing. So it actually just ends up as a straight up 1-for-1. And look at this top side, just absolutely going to get demolished here. So Revelate goes back to Mininar, and they can't stop that, building a 7k gold lead here at 14 minutes.
Like a 1-for-1 trade, but plus points on that outplay for Parzival. Like he did expend the flash, but that was not expected by Usagi, especially in terms of the damage. And right now, things are still possible for Sadbois. They do have double AD. It's just hard to pull it off, knowing that there's a lot of initiating tools on side of West Point Esports. But when we reach like a 25 to 30 minute mark at this pace, they would be able to catch up, and that should the thing that the West Point Esports should look out for.
That just happens in a flash here. Ben Jurgensen tries to fight back, but it's just not happening. And that seems to be the game plan here for West Point, is that they want these very fast, like 3v2s, 3v1s. They dive, they get pickoffs. Parzival's build is also going in that direction with the Aerie going into like the lethality AD caster build for Zaya instead of the the regular marksman. And here, Revelate is going to go in for the brawl here. Gnar ulti into the wall here. The boss is going to try and fight back with a shotgun knees. It's not happening. Revelate just has too much base stats here, and the hull breaker, even though I did say that it's kind of bad on Gnar, with the
both of them have it, so it's like even.
So it kind of ends up being like even, because Urgot's also range, but Revelate, when he goes into Mega Gnar, is like Super Saiyan with the hull breaker.
Super Saiyan, true. He can just muscle out, like do all those. He has 2 crowd controls, for Christ's sake. When he goes to Mega Gnar, and when he is at range, it's pretty much like a Vayne. So he hurts so much on the tank setup of the boss, and it's hard to actually think of a way to like dismantle West Point Esports right now. Everyone is quite fed, especially Crescio, and the hooks just keep coming. Like you get traumatized going out of your way, going out of your base. Because of those crowd controls, and even Crescio is just constantly throwing all those skill shots at them.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that is the vision control here. I don't think Sadbois would be getting hit with as many of these Calumnia hooks if they had their vision game on point here. Another thing that's making it difficult is the existence of Ivern. Ivern makes these brushes that aren't normally in ward spots. These brushes like block vision as well. So it makes it so much easier for Colombia to get these kills and go for the dive.
This is not easy.
To the Lux here. Nosagi goes down immediately, and that's one member from Sadbois. He can probably pivot to mid lane here. And like I said, Sadbois doesn't have any vision on their own on side of the map, except for top lane, which is not where West Point is, so they can't really read their movements too much. So they have to stay near the confines of their own base. XV, XCY, X here, gonna try and go for it, but in comes the Featherstorm. No, that's not gonna be the Blade Collar denied here as well. Revelate comes in from downtown, goes for the Gnar ulti, smacks Closer down, and XEX is gonna try and run away here. Vape Nage, but Revelate is under pursuit. Columbia as well, running behind enemy lines here. Revelate hits the boomerang, and that's going to slow him down. And that is going to be just a stop. Oh, look at his hooks coming in from
I mean, they don't have damage, but
Not
they're
damage, but
trying.
they can just go for it with the raw damage. Okay, Usagi
Oh,
probably gonna get a
no.
double kill. Get 2 important kills. So a little bit overconfident then from West Point, giving a Kaisa the shutdown gold, which is gonna try.
That's a
and
lot
get
of
back,
shutdown gold.
Yeah, but it's still 8k gold ahead, I think, and that is going to be West Point East. Sadbois with a little bit of revenge. They can put their eggs. They can try and depend on Ben Jurgensen a little bit more, but it's still going to be very, very difficult because even if you ramp up this Kaisa, it's still not solving the problem that is they keep getting initiated on. They keep getting picked off by Crescio and Calumnia. So it's still going to be very difficult for them to get back. Maybe this Mountain Drake's going to help them out, but West Point has complete control over it right now.
Even if Ben Jurgensen already got 2 shutdowns, he is still almost like 2.5k gold behind against Crescio. Still though, like it's a Kaisa. He scales up pretty hard, and when he gets that Luden's Tempest, he's gonna hurt so much on that Void Seeker. Speaking of hurt, XZ is hurt.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna go down here without too much ceremony. Calumnia gonna go for the hook here. What hits through the balls and gets Usagi? That's an easy squishy kill. That's West Point extending their lead. And like I said, and with Ben Jurgensen actually going AP Kaisa here, this is reinforces that the theme they were going for is making space for themselves, right? They have Closer and Ben Jurgensen for the poke. They have Usagi. They're supposed to have Usagi for the poke as well. But the thing is, West Point has dominated the vision game. They've created such a huge lead in the early game where Sadbois just doesn't have enough space, or rather the space that they're creating is not enough to beat out West Point here in Crescio. Being able to go for the route there,
unfortunate.
You do not want to challenge Crescio right now at that point of health. Very, very low damage. Can the W hit him? It does go. Another shutdown goes for Ben Jurgensen, the American sniper, the Kobe, as you said. But let's see if that, because AP Kaisa does not ramp up with gold as much as Hyper Carry 80 Kaisa, right? So these shutdowns, while very big, it's still very, very difficult for them to push through. And here comes Revelate from downtown as well. Featherstorm is going to push Closer away. Can they take out the boss? Keep him in place. Revelate puts him in his place. And that is going to be West Point still continuing the onslaught here. And I like the Triforce pickup. I'm not sure if this Triforce pickup on Gnar is just because they're so ahead that he can just go for damage, or if he's actually pivoting into Triforce completely from Divine Sunder. Because I do think that Triforce is the better play for Gnar most of the time than Divine Blunderer.
Yeah, especially on the changes of Trinity Force. Like you have more damage, ability haste, and also movement speed. They want to chase, especially when someone wants to initiate. They're just not going to hesitate at all. And since the objective bounties are up, I think West Point Esports are going to try to deny Sadbois from getting those. So far, they only had one objective, the Infernal Dragon. They have a lot to go, given that they are 10k gold down at 21 minutes. And West Point Esports are not stopping these attempts of getting someone.
They're still going for it, and Calumnia is very, very fast with a Predator.
Ouch.
Taking a lot of poke damage. That's where the power of the AP Kaisa is just being able to play keep away and hit those long-range artillery shots. But let's see if that's enough to repel the West Point Esports here. The Baron is a real possibility here from them. Actually, they're not the fastest Baron clearers right now because Parzival is going for this 80 caster Xayah build, but if they're ahead enough that they can try and force it if Sadbois is not paying attention.
Yeah, it will take more items. Like he's still quite far from the Gnasher's Tooth. So not much damage yet on the side of Ben Jurgensen. I mean, we're seeing quite a lot already, but that's not the full fit form of a Kaisa. Later on, he was going to be able to like double Void Seeker anyone to death. And that's what West Point Esports are trying to prevent. Oh, he's
Calumnia with Hack Splash is so scary. Like, he can come from anywhere at this point.
Like a Blitzcrank with Hex Flash generally is a nightmare, considering, like, based from my experience as a Senomain, I don't like it when that happens.
Oh no. Yeah, that's rough. Like that. Usagi has been the victim of these hooks over and over and over again. It has to feel bad. Revelate coming in as well. He's going to lose the Hullbreaker once Parzival comes in for the support, but he is in position to help out here with lots of big burst damage from the feathers. look at that. That is going to be Eclipse plus the Airy proccing, giving them the space to take this tower. Meanwhile, top side, they've got the 2-man or 2.5 manpower strong here because of the Daisy. They're going to try and break down this inhibitor very, very fast. Let's see. How's it going on the bot side as well? Yeah, because a lot of the resources on Sadbois, it's like 3-4 members of Sadbois, and this leaves top side wide open here. And Crescio taking being able to deal a lot of damage here against the boss, has to back off. He doesn't have enough wave clear. He's gonna try and kidnap Crescio or Ben Yerksen to set up. He doesn't have his matches just yet, but he's able to get the burst damage onto YJY with Closer around to help him out. The charm just barely misses right there. Crescio does not have his ever as well, so he can't lock down Closer. Has to be satisfied with pushing in the wave, but the top lane inhib is down. That's going to be the Everfrost as well. This should push XEX away and set up for West Point Esports another push coming in very, very soon. Bot lane is left open. Mid lane tower is vulnerable. And this Baron with all of this... actually, they might not even go for Baron immediately here. Just Columbia waiting in the wings, giving Crescio a kill. Usagi, so close. He was feeling it, man. Naramdaman Usagi. Like, something's wrong. I can feel it.
A free ward? No. Can't be. It's too good to be true.
So you just dodge a step. Oh, okay, Columbia... a little bit too off on the prediction there because Usagi was positioning a lot more boldly than someone in this 12k gold deficit would be playing. So, yeah, West Point just need to converge with their waves and go for the push if they don't want to go for Baron.
That is a utility support's nightmare. A blitzcrank on a team that's ahead and you don't have vision. You're trying to create vision for your team, but every step you make is a risk. Just like what Usagi is having, trying to clear out some wards, and after clearing out a ward, another one pops up, and yeah, that's your responsibility, man. You have to clear those wards, and whenever you do, there's a risk of a hook coming at you.
And that just plays into, like, you need someone to go with the support that's clearing wards. Otherwise, it's a free kill. But in this situation, nice kidnap there from the boss, though. Going in with the Purge. Able to get a pretty good kill. But this is pretty much just a smoke screen so that West Point can go for the Baron at this point. They're like, okay, it's gone, so they can't be going for Baron, right? Actually, no, Revelate is going to act as, like, a secondary marksman here to go for the Baron. YJY taking a lot of damage from this, though, but Revelate should be here too, kind of playing with her food a little bit.
They're definitely just playing with everybody, but you know what they say about playing? If you play too much, things can not benefit you for long. As Sadbois are still going for this. There's no sign of giving up for them. They're not letting this game go out of their hands just yet. We see the fight from Ben Yerksen getting those kills, especially when I get those Void Seekers hit on the members of West Point Esports Team 1. And it's just gonna escalate and escalate as the game progresses. Same goes for Closer, same goes for XZ. Later on, if they get their at least 3-4 items, which is kind of still possible. You know, we're still just on the second Drake for West Point Esports, and well, even if they do have Baron, if Sadbois are still gonna be able to defend their base successfully, they're just gonna scale up even more.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit hard with a Baron. I mean, since their wave clear isn't that good. Like the best wave clear that we have is like the Baus here with the Hydra built up, but Ben Yerksen and Usagi aren't going to be contributing too much, and of course Closer doesn't have wave clear unless he goes for the R. Going to go for the Purge onto Revelate. He's going to take a lot of damage. Going to get stunned into the wall there, and that is one big frontliner gone from Sadbois. Going to come in as well, go for the kill onto XEX. But now it's going to be Usagi getting the short end of the stick once again. I think this is game 1 taken by West Point Esports here, as they're going for more kills. They have these brushes in their favor as a smoke screen, and Sadbois, can they fight back in at least make a dent in West Point Esports assault here. It doesn't seem like that's happening. Hostage sila na West Point. They're gonna go for it though. In comes the predatory instinct here, and that is not gonna be enough as West Point Esports takes game 1 away. Killer instinct, not enough.
Yeah, basically, West Point Esports are done playing in game number 1, and they want this win. They do get it in a fascinating form, as Sadbois still pretty sad about the results of their game, but this is still a promising progress coming in from them at the Prominence Crown Cup Season 2. Battle for 3rd spot. If we do check on the stats on the game, looking at their scoreline, Ben Jerkson is actually starting to scale up. He is actually building his items, however, due to the fact that they are by the game ended, it was 15k already. But the last that we saw was a little over 10k. Things look really scary for them already. It's like the point of no return, but the fight that Sadbois are making is impressive.
And from the comp, like just looking at it from the comp, right? I saw where Sadbois were going for their comp, right? Like they have the space creating, and now that when I saw the Kai'Sa going mid, okay, that just tells me, yeah, they can go for the space comp here. But against West Point Esports, there were a couple of factors that prevented them from making that space. One is that West Point is just, they do not let disengage phase them. Like, you dodge one of their engages, you mentioned this earlier, Gigi, that where they go in, they get repelled, but they continue going in as well, right? Oh, okay, so it's really tough for them. And once they got to a point where they were behind, West Point can really just ignore whatever punishment they're throwing at West Point's way and just continue the assault here. The vision game was just on point from West Point. They controlled the territories. They knew exactly where Usagi were and whether they can go for a dive onto the bot side as well. So it's just very, very tough there for them to make their comp work.
Yeah, it generally, while conflicts do happen in terms of draft and execution, but it is still, the fight still remains on the side of Sadbois. Let's see though if they are gonna be able to pick up a win and try to take us to a game number 3, as West Point Esports already are match point. See if they're gonna be able to catch up after we go into a short break. But don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back after just 5 minutes.
Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary friends, to the Prominence Crown Cup, Season 2 League of Legends, and we'll be your shoutcasters for Game 2 of this best-of-3 bronze match. I'm Hiron, with me is Gian Gaming. We just got back from that first game between Sadbois and West Point Esports Team 1, where West Point kind of had a little bit of fun among themselves, trying to see if they're better at the other team members' roles, and that was pretty nasty stomp there, right, Giang?
It was well, we were talking offline a while ago that West Point Esports are kind of like just having fun during that game, but I did like and appreciate the fight of Sadbois as well, especially when Closer and Ben Jerkson were starting to have their damage But let's see if in this game number 2 they would be able to catch up even more, as we're already heading down to the pick and bans.
Yeah, and with how West Point was playing that first game, this pretty much throws everything Sadbois is planning with the draft out of the window. Like earlier we were saying, oh yeah, there's a lot of Crescio focus ban here in the supports, and Crescio ended up playing Ari. Crescio might end up playing jungle here. Sabi nga dun sa chat, like West Point Esports page is like, this is West Point Team 1 trash talking each other, saying that they can play the other team members' roles much better than they can. So I'm hoping for another mix-up when it comes to the roles here once again. Meanwhile, West Point, they're gonna go steady and straight with their picks and bans. Sion's still gonna be a respect man here against Sadbois here, against the boss.
Yeah, a while ago, well, the boss kind of struggled in the top lane, although he did have a strong holding of top despite the ganks. However, given that he has the role of needing to be the front line of the team, he needs to maybe pick a champion that can actually do that even more, or like better than the Orgod, because the Sign will not see the light of day for this series. Not anymore, as it is going to be banned as well. Sadbois banning out Tryndamere, which is actually pretty meta as of the moment, aside from it being strong not only in the jungle, but mostly being used in the mid lane. As of now, even Faker has used it already, and it is a monster.
Tryndamere as well. So basically, solo lane Tryndamere is pretty strong. Yeah, lethal tempo is pretty good as well. He got some pretty good changes where his I think it was Death Stance. Yeah, Death Stance, where if you get a kill with Death Stance, instead of like being percentage based, it's now based on your AD as well. So this helps out with Tryndamere, makes him a reset bot. You basically get one kill. It's like being a weird Viego, right? Where Viego, you get a kill, you regen so much health. The same goes for Tryndamere if he gets
Death Stance. In the mid lane.
But I like the draft adaptation here from Sadbois. They're like, okay, West Point is trying to mix this up. Let's just ban out regular, powerful, generic picks and go for one power pick of our own, which is Irelia in the top side. Meanwhile, if they pick Ashe, I'm actually going to be very excited, because the Ashe had a pretty big change in 12.5B, but no, it's just going to be the Vayne with the Jarvan, instant combo with the wall, with the Condemn. So I like it a lot. This is
going to be a possible... Because I have seen some Jarvan supports before. Yeah. It was very rare, but sometimes it does work. Sometimes it does work. And, knowing West Point Esports, they're not going to hesitate on exploring some of these possible lineups. Samira, Chosen. Oh, they're not backing off. They're going to fight fire with fire here.
Yeah, and Samira actually, I think, is in a little bit of a better spot, because she got some love in this patch, increased some of her base stats as well, which makes her, which makes her trading in the early game against other marksmen a little bit better, especially since Aphelios got hit.
Talked about this a while ago. Rel.
Rel is going to be the Samir. Yeah, I like this, specifically against the Vayne as well. Means the Alistar just says no to the Rel a lot, but it's still gonna be a pretty dynamic lane here with the addition of the Vayne, and of course the ganks here from the J4 are gonna be big. But let's get into our second banning phase here and see how it goes for both of these teams.
Is it possible that we're gonna be seeing something like an Orianna on the side of West Point Esports? They do have two initiators already, two strong and tanky initiators on them with lots of crowd control. If they want to protect the Vayne, Orianna is also one of the best mid lane.
I think you're right. With the Sylas ban, I do think that they might be planning on something like Orianna or any other mid laner that has a high impact ulti that can synergize with the Jarvan or the Alistar. So I think that might be somewhere along those lines, and Sadbois still going for these very generic bans here. Of course, Akali has kind of fallen out of favor. Still has a pretty big presence here.
Oh, they banned it away. They snuffed it out.
Yeah, they snuffed it out. So, and the Orianna. Sadbois, very smart. They ban out the Orianna after seeing the Sylas ban here, and the Urgot being banned out by West Point.
There's one more though. I mean, there's still other options who can kind of buff the Vayne up. Karma used to be meta in the mid lane, but at this point, on this draft that Sadbois is making is going to be kind of risky, especially if they did pick up the Gwen. It's gonna hurt the tanks. He sustains so much, especially when he is put in the top lane. Yesterday, Sadbois put it in the jungle, and it thrived, but it did not turn out into a win for them. Maybe the Gragas would be the better option. They do have two fighters to
In a sensible
Esports
world,
just says, yeah, you're analyzing too much details. Let's stop you for a moment.
Let's just have fun. Let's just have fun with it.
Let's just have
GG,
fun.
right? Like, let's say Teemo faces off against the Aurelia in mid lane, maybe. The Malphite. Okay, I was gonna say that the Teemo might have a pretty bad matchup against the Gwen here because of the miss, but I can't even tell anymore.
I don't even know. They can put it on top. They can put it in the mid lane. Malphite can be in the mid. It's not even impossible if they put the Malphite as the jungler and Jarvan in the mid. Jarvan mid used to be meta. Jarvan top is a meta on Wild Rift, and normally like a Wild Rift kind of just follows the meta on League of Legends PC, like the old metas. But I'm gonna be really scary on the scaling of Vayne, because naturally Vayne late game is so scary, especially when he has the protection of the tanks and also when he has protection of the shield.
Peel, right? From Alistar. Doesn't even need, like, all they need to initiate is J4 and Malphite. So Revelate can just focus on peeling for Columbia on this Vayne. Meanwhile,
The
for
only
Sadbois,
problem though is Sadbois has a lot of engage. They have Irelia, Samira, everyone actually engages. So if they get the kill on the Vayne, everyone else pretty much is just a walking punching bag.
Teemo carry, let's go.
Oh yeah,
Teemo carry to.
I actually forgot about that Teemo. It's not.
He was invisible. He was invisible. That's why you didn't notice him.
Yep.
But yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of it's gonna be a lot of responsibility for Revelate to just peel for Vayne. And they had a little bit of a flex. I do know that Gragas isn't as popular in the jungle now, but Gwen can be flexed. Even though her clear got hit, it's really most of her clear after second recall, right?
Yeah.
Because first clear, Gwen doesn't really get changed by the percentage AD against monsters nerf in 12.5. So we might still see XZX here playing in the jungle. Of course, this could also be top lane. I know for sure Aurelia is going on the mid lane here, so there's this soft flex happening right now, and let's see what West Point has to offer for us and where these are gonna go, man. Because
I don't even know. I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know if Teemo's gonna be the standard AP with Liandry's Anguish, or are they gonna go with the unhit Teemo with Lethal Tempo that hurts so much? So like there's two hyper carries now. One deals true damage, one deals an obnoxious amount of magic damage, especially with Nashor's Tooth or like Wits and whatever with Rage Blade.
There are a couple ways that he can go with this as well. Like Rift Makers after Nashor's Tooth. I think Teemos always go for Nashor's first, just to get the stats that they want, right?
To win the 1v1s.
To win the 1v1s, and then they can either go for Riftmaker to once again win more of those 1v1s, or they can go for Leandries and just have
Like
a lot of presence when it comes to the
irritating.
shrooms. Has a little bit better team fight. Yeah, this is gonna be tough. So this does confirm that this Gwen is gonna be in the jungle. J4 in the jungle as well. Okay, so the flex here is whether YJY is gonna go top side or mid lane, because I do think mid Malphite seems like an ancient relic. Like we've seen mid Malphite in like pub games and what, like 8 years ago, right? So we're gonna have to see how it goes, because he has Arcane Comet, so I think he's just gonna go for a grenade. Gonna be in the jungle. J4 in the jungle as well. Okay, so the flex here is whether YJY is gonna go top side or mid lane, because I do think mid Malphite seems like an ancient relic. Like we've seen mid Malphite in like pub games and what, like 8 years ago, right? So we're gonna have to see how it goes, because he has Arcane Comet, so I think he's just gonna go for a grenade Malphite, you know.
Yep, especially in the mid lane. We saw it, yesterday between West Point Esports Team 1 and West Point Academy. And it was actually fun to see, knowing that, okay, this Malphite in the mid can actually work, although it didn't turn out into a win for West Point Academy. It did show some signs of hope, even in the laning phase against a Jace. And against an Irelia, it's not gonna be that much of a difference. We're just waiting for the game to start, as the teams are like making sure their connections are stable, so that we won't experience any sort of problems as the game progresses. It's a big hassle, you know. Imagine like yesterday the what do you call this? The game, like during a team fight, someone got disconnected mid clash. So that's gonna be a hassle if ever that happens.
I feel like a lot of people have been having connection issues more frequently lately. Those sharks, man, they're like biting the undersea cables. Apparently, sometimes. I'm not sure if it's in the Philippines, in the Philippines specifically, but I do know that sometimes since sharks like detect their prey through electromagnetic signals in the ocean, sometimes they see the wires, like think it's food and bite it, and that causes some fluctuations in some countries. So let's see, maybe you have the sharks to blame, but it looks like all of our players have everything in order now. And they are balling up. They are going to be ending up as a ball here, possibly for a level 1 fight. We're going to see how that goes.
Yeah, so far, I think that's another pause that's happening to make sure things run smoothly. But
yeah, so for now, yeah, I think yeah, it's a little bit okay. Now there we go. So while our teams are probably setting up maybe for a level 1 invade on the side of Sadbois, there could be a gank here coming from or a 1v1 coming, or level 1 rather, coming in from West Point. I can see like pulverize into, wait, never mind, they're just akala ko naman may planado silang level 1 dito.
Too much analyzing. West Point Esports are just memeing on us. They're just memeing on us on
looks
this
like
game.
Sadbois is in on it as well, having a little bit of fun among themselves. It's pretty chill. I think we're not going to be analyzing this game too much in super deep detail, but
this brings me back though. Like there was a team that usually does that, and going into the mid lane, having a march in the mid lane as well whenever they get a good win in the series. Like
it was all smoke screen. Oh no!
Yeah,
it was
I
all
remember now.
Ooze. It was all a ruse here, where they were like, "Oh, we're just trolling mid lane. Don't mind us." But YJ,
no, we're gonna watch.
Yeah,
we're
let's
gonna
see.
watch.
Let's see how this plays out. Because why is
He's
oh
laughing,
my God.
and you can't hear him.
No,
you
he's
don't
not
have
the
flash.
ignite. No, the smite for the HP regen. It's not gonna happen. Oh my God.
Oh God.
Dude, the XZX so dirty there, but
That's
silver lining
disgusting.
for this Gwen is that because he was trying to escape, the blue buff actually resets. So it's not like YJY is able to steal it, but now he has no smite. He has to go all the way back to the red buff at this point in this bot lane fight here. Heal burnt on Usagi, but Ignite is ticking. Not going to be able to finish him off, but this should prevent level 2 develop. But Calumnia goes for the flash, get the kill. He's not level 2 just yet, but Calumnia dealing a lot of damage here. Revelate with the flash, pulverized for the kill, but Closer pulls his devil trigger, and he's going to be able to get a revenge kill. This is a spicy, spicy match that I cannot put into words.
Yep, and even if Kalunic got the assist a while ago, Closer still got a lot of gold out of that. And the kill actually was funneled onto Revelate, so it's not really that much behind. Only 100 gold behind against Calumnia. And it was a little bit unfortunate for Usagi since Calumnia flashed in after tumbling. So that's a lot of damage being thrown out onto the rel.
Yeah, if you're in melee range, and later, of course, moving forward, Closer in melee range is actually a pretty big threat. More than like keeping in range, but here, Ben Jurgensen gonna try and repel Parzival's pressure in the mid lane. He has a pretty big wave, so if he falls here, it's gonna be a huge deficit for this Irelia. But of course, this Irelia, all he needs is like Vamp Scepter, and he should be fine. But Cresho, right around the corner, as the West Point page did say, they wanted to see Jungler here. Gonna be a knock-up here on to Revelate, but he's gonna get knocked into turret range. No second turret shot, but the creeps are blocking him, and Calumnia picks up another kill. That is Revelate saying, "Don't pull up, because he's gonna put a cap in you, pop a cap in you." There we go.
You don't fight an Alistar with a rel. I mean,
yeah, don't mess with a bull.
Don't mess with a bull. You'll get the horn. Yo. Yep. There are a lot of quotes on Alistar, but the others are like not
Can't
good.
milk those.
They can't milk.
But with Usagi gone, this pretty much means Closer can't CS. Yeah, because if he tries to CS, he's gonna get this. He thankfully is able to just dash away with Trickster style, but West Point still has control over this lane, and especially once Calumnia recalls, he's gonna be like a long sword ahead here in terms of stats, and that's what Vayne needs to get the edge in these matchups, is just to get as many bonus stats as he can, because her base stats are pretty low.
And we're seeing Closer actually struggling a lot. Normally, Rel Samira dominates bot lane, but the way that the West Point Esports are handling their lane is pretty impressive. Now, Sadbois are sending out XZ after that unfortunate scenario.
Oh, here comes XZ. Are they gonna bait it, is the question.
They're trying to. I mean,
Yeah.
the ward is the play.
patient. Oh, they actually reveal themselves. So I think all they're gonna do here, as actually gets a 3v3, in comes the flag and drag. A lot of damage. Once again, Usagi gets the short end of the stick and gets pushed into turret range. Next on the chopping block is gonna be this Gwen, but taking a lot of damage here from Clover with the Blade Whirl right there, but it's not gonna be enough as Revelate picks up the double kill. Look at me!
Look at me.
I'm the carry now. 3-0
I'm the
and
carry
3.
now.
He's got beef. Yeah, he's got beef with Sadbois.
Beef. All those creatine and protein in his veins. And like 3-0. Oh, Calumnia, you're just 2-1 and 4. I'm 3-0 and 3. I'm not even gonna be surprised if it goes like AP or this.
No. But that's very bad for XZX. Because not only did he spend a lot of time waiting for that gank, the gank actually got turned against them, so he's still going to be just about level 4 when Cresho's already halfway through his own level 4, right? So this is not looking great for Sadbois, but it does seem like they're having fun with it at least.
Yeah, top lane is looking good so far. On the side of Sadbois, I mean, the boss is not struggling against the Teemo. We're seeing mid lane though.
Unstoppable force into the flag and drag. Not gonna be a kill. Those Vanguard's Edge comes out. Cresho gets taken down. They were under a ward, so Sadbois had complete knowledge of this happening. Parsifal's gonna try and run away, but I think XEX is gonna just snip away, and the boss is gonna be able to intercept him. Can he flash over the Baron? Is the question. It does seem like he is able to escape with his life, but West Point, they're using it as a signal to try and make something happen bot side, prevent the Drake take. That's going to be West Point losing one member.
A fantastic outplay there by Ben Jerkson, getting that kill under the tower, and now we're seeing a knock-off.
I think that pretty much is dead. Oh, nice stun there from Usagi, but I think he's going to have to give his life for that. He's worth like 100 gold. I think it's worth it. That's definitely worth it. Usagi goes down, he only gives 100, prevents a kill onto closer, but they do lose a lot of lane priority here. They're going to get pushed in.
A lot of a lane priority indeed. This Samira is not gonna snowball as they intended to do so. We're seeing a 3.5k gold up already on the side of West Point Esports. The boss is, well, still having a good time on top. YJY is just trying to poke him out, but you know,
ooh, dodges both barrels there. So that's two big tools taken away from the boss. Here comes Cresho. The boss is going to try for a desperation play, most likely to try and kill YJY. Does go for the flash. Does not get knocked up by the flag and drag, but gets steps on a mushroom and gets finished off by J4, planting a flag in that belly. The boss goes down.
Yeah, he's going to try to get the kill.
Oh, misses the flawless duet. I don't think that would have been a kill anyway, because Cresho was there to get the knockup.
They can counter it. Closer is getting chased constantly.
Yeah, Usagi kind of underestimated Calumnia there, and Revelate's willingness to go for the harassment while Usagi's gonna try and go for the clear on the Tri-Brush. So big damage being pushed here by the bot lane of West Point.
It's a sad bot lane right now for Sadbois. Mid lane is just a mountain. Not much happening aside from that dive a while ago by Cresha and Parzival, but I don't think they're gonna be repeating that anytime soon. They're planning bot though, as
oh no. That's how much Parzival is willing to commit, man. To go for the Raptor steal. Here comes Cresho, gets a kill onto XZX, and now the boss is alone here. Is dealing a lot of damage, but that triggers the dive onto bot lane. Calumnia taking a lot of damage here, gets a stun from the Alistar E. Can they get the kill? Yes, the Triumph's gonna keep it alive a little bit. Teleport coming in as well from Ben Jurgensen, and that's a signal for Calumnia and Revelate to go away. That's going to be Usagi not able to follow up and set up kills for Ben Jurgensen at that point. So that's just a teleport burned, YJY space created, and with West Point Esports running away with another kill there.
It doesn't have that Magnus Storm up yet since it's not level 6. Pretty good timing by West Point Esports.
Here comes Cresho though. Calumnia goes for the Condemn, does hit Bjergsen. Vanguard's Edge is going to come out, but it's going to be too late. The cage match is going to push through, but it's a 3v1 and he falls down.
Oh, there's a lot of shrooms there. Nice dodge.
Nice dodge there.
Gonna try to get the kill.
He's gonna try and get the kill here. He does not have flash. He just has a speed boost there. He's gonna get body slammed out.
There's it.
I think it's gonna be an easy kill here. A little bit of a consolation prize for Sadbois. It evens up the kill 1-1, but this gives the West Point the time to go for the first Drake, which is Hextech.
Hextech Drake taken already, and the Rift Herald is still up. Maybe Sadbois can try to get it since they already got the kill onto the Teemo at top. They're not planning it to do so just yet. They're respecting how big of a lead West Point Esports have as of the moment, which is 5k at 10 minutes. And they're just continuously scaling up, especially for Calumnia. Pretty much close already on his Kraken Slayer. He's even having the luxury of having that Vampiric Scepter just for the sustain.
Might go for... Yeah, actually might go for the Kraken Slayer. Does have the Cloak of Agility right there. I was gonna say Immortal Shield Bow would have been good as well. Actually, no, I don't think he needs Kraken Slayer in this game. I think he might just go for a Shield Bow. Yeah, just goes for Closer right there, face tank everything. It's gonna be big damage to the Magnet Storm, but not enough. This is a 4v2 onslaught happening in the bot lane. This should give them first turret, especially with Cresho giving them the attack speed boost. But yeah, it's a slaughter right
Round
now.
2 at top.
Yeah, YGY, he does not have flash. He has to ignite, so maybe he can steal something away, but he has not pre-set up any mushrooms. So I think this is gonna be ending up as a kill for Sadbois, trading with a turret bot side. And
Even
Herald.
if he does get some shrooms hit on them, it's not gonna hurt much since he's building on-hit Teemo. Does have the anti-healing with the Oblivion Orb, but it's not gonna do much.
Yep.
Only on the laning phase.
So he was pretty much just bait there to focus on. Actually, I don't think they need the bait. I think YJY is just having fun topside pull, and when they're ganking him, he's getting their attention, right? Which is what you want as a Teemo, is to make enemies just want. It's like that global taunt that Teemo has, and is actually working for them. And it's just gonna be a turret trade, and the Rift Herald being used here by Sadbois might give them a little bit of ways to get back in this game. The R6K Golden Kind, Calumnia gonna try and 1v2 here. Meanwhile, Crash gonna dunk onto XEX. Here comes Ben Jurgensen for the assist though, but can he kill him before the kill? No, there's gonna be XEX going down as well. 2v1, Ben Jurgensen can try and go for it, flashes away, denies the blade dance, so goes back in with a flag and drag. That's gonna be a double kill going to Cresho on his J4. Meanwhile, YJY leading the boss into these mushrooms, hiding in the cubby, but he is just gonna get body slammed on by the boss.
Yeah, the
he's
extra
gonna go down.
fat was worth it. The extra burger allowed him to get that stomach in on the YJY, but there was a shutdown by Closer onto Calumnia, which is pretty huge. Now, Immortal Shieldbow completed onto the Vayne, still 2,000 gold up against the Samira of Clover, of Closer, so he's still relatively ahead. But this sustain with the Immortal Shieldbow on the Samira should help him try to turn around these small fights.
Yeah, that is possible, and maybe if XEX becomes more involved with the Hollowed Mist there, because a big part of why Gwen was so strong is the degenerate things that you can do with the Hollowed Mists and one-sided team fights where they can't get a shot in because they're in the Hollowed Mist, but they're allow Closer to gap close and get the Inferno Trigger after he gets the Smoking Sexy style S-Rack, so maybe that they could turn that around. 5k Goldie is pretty big for 13 minutes, but it's very concentrated onto Cresho and Calumnia, so if they can just focus on Parzival and YJY, but no, Cresho's going to pick up the kill against Usagi. Usagi not having a fun time right now. XZX going to have to run away while Cresho's running towards Closer. Can he escape? Even with Immortal Shieldbow, Life Seal and the shield, it's not going to be enough. It gets run through with the spear. And that's going to be 6-18 on the kill score. West Point Esports in a very, very good position.
Yeah, the spears is too big for the bow can handle. As YJY just continuously poking out the balls.
Oh,
lots of
it could
damage
be an
so
opportunity. Yeah, there's no more. It could go for another body slam, but the flash is going to come through. The ignite is going to tick down with the poison. It's going to be enough for YJY to get his revenge. That's going to be Ben Jurgensen trying to face off against Calumnia, but he gets pushed away, condemned to death here as Calumnia just regens all of it back with his shield bow. And mid lane turret is not going to last long as Cresho comes in with a flag and drag into the knockup, into Revelate with a pulverize, means that Cresho is godlike in this game. Meanwhile, Parzival is just split pushing happily in his lane. He's moisturized, he's vibing.
He's vibing so much. He's just enjoying the game as of the moment, since he does have Cresho to back him up. There's Closer and XZ. Flag and drag goes in.
Look at the burst damage on that flag and drag, but here comes Closer, can go for these kills here. Does get one with the Inferno Trigger, but here comes Revelate, gonna get pushed into with the flag and drag double knock up there. Can they finish him off before the Life Shield procs? No, it is going to be a kill happening for West Point. Calumnia versus Ben Jurgensen. Exhaust is gonna be huge here, and the Vanguard's Edge means it's gonna be a mutual kill here for both of these carries. So, very exciting game, even though it's looking to be one-sided so far. YJY fighting off with the boss here. Can he lead them into the barrel? Just hitting at the edge. That's going to be the body slam coming through. No flash for YJY that time. And the big man, the boss, the big boss coming in with another kill.
Yeah, Santa Claus provides the gift.
Christmas came early.
Christmas came early. It's still a going summer, but the balls is there. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit late for work. Here's your gift. Pack!
Right. Like, this Santa isn't 3 months late.
Yep.
He's just Like 9 months early.
He is 9 months early. He wants to have that uptime on his work, so he can just go on a vacation on his day. But Columnia's
body slam still hitting.
Ow.
He has a lot of life steal. I don't think he cares.
And
the end comes Revelate. Oh my god, I think this is a kill.
Santa, come at us.
Yeah, this is gonna be the gift wrapped for Calumnia. That's his Christmas present. 300 gold in the pocket. But Inferno Trigger means Closer picks up that kill. And he's starting to scale up, even though the kill went to Usagi. Maybe there is some hope yet for Sadbois in this game. But I think they're just having a lot of fun with this game right now, both teams.
They are. But based on the pace of the game, you know, the boss scaling up, Irelia as well, and Closer starting to get their items. If West Point Esports keep having these casualties, Sadbois are gonna continue scaling up, and Reptite attempting a dive.
Yeah, that was pretty clever. Because the Hollowed Mist prevents him from going for a straight up headbutt, just uses the minion. Bjergsen gonna get knocked up here. I think they're just gonna have to sacrifice Revelate here if they want Calumnia to live. But the Calumnia's still sticking around, seeing if he can get an errant kill around here. He's gonna get exhausted by Usagi. But no, Revelate is actually still surviving. Gets the kill onto Usagi. Can he do it though? The Dagger's Edge misses, that's big! And in comes Crescio for the knockup onto Ben Bjergsen. Flawless Duet is not gonna connect, and that's a triple kill onto this Vayne. 12, 3, and 7 Closer running for his life right now. But here comes the interception as YJY not gonna be able to Royal Guard that. He goes down to the poison. Oh no! Oh no!
My. That was an oh no moment. Well, West Point Esports, we had our concerns and they just patched it up. They're now 10k gold up.
They're pretty much just like having fun. I keep saying this, like this game right now, battle for third. They're thriving. They're moisturized in their lane. They're pretty much just showing that despite not being on their usual roles, right? Like they're still a very powerful team with very versatile players, able to keep up despite Sadbois. And one thing we haven't seen today actually is like one of the star players from yesterday was like Quit Lolmuna, right? Like playing
not
mid
here.
with Sadbois is not here. Must be busy. You know, Sunday is a busy day. Maybe he had something else to do as well. So that's quite unfortunate because I think he was one of the standout players from yesterday. But what can you do? West Point Esports leading with a 30-10 kill score. Crash is going to jump in 2v1. In comes Unstoppable Force in the cage match, disrupting the cage match. Crash is going to go for one last coup.
Wow.
Cool guys don't look at explosions, and in this case, it's going to be a flag running
this goes
through.
With behind the back.
Usagi, kind of
Sad
giving
life
his
as a
spots.
support.
Yes, sad life.
Sad life. Yeah, I mean,
he's constantly being hounded, right? Like here he's gonna get dove. Earlier he kept getting hooked. At this point, okay, nice knockup. Usagi trying to survive for as long as possible. He's trying to use a turret, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
That's 65% reduced damage. The turret's just gonna tickle the cow.
And it's actually very funny herald placement behind the turret, so doesn't actually get value from that. Just stop the wave. But at this point, it's a 15k gold lead. Sadbois doesn't have a comp that can scale up super hard because Irelia performs best once he gets the mid game. A little bit late game if they reach that, but you're up against a Vayne. Samira isn't really a late game hyper carry, very vulnerable late game in Crescio, and try and go in. He has Parzival's backup right there. He had Unstoppable Force. They were ready at any moment to go for it.
Their person HP damage are XZ and Ben Bjergsen, but it's hard to do those on like so many people. Plus, they have the responsibility to kill Calumnia and YJY at the same time. But if they don't do that, it's just West Point Esports muscling them out, and they can't even contest the Baron take right now. Crescio and Calumnia taking it for free, plus maybe another Dragon Inferno.
Oh no, Parzival just gets out of dodge right there. Yeah, can't get the kill. He is, like I said, on this grenade Malphite build, so all he really needs to do is jump in after Cresho sets up. Just comes in like a grenade, doesn't matter if Parzival dies. He's gonna get his ulti back very, very fast, but they're gonna try and go for a last stand here. He's gonna get a kill onto Parzival here. The boss has to back off, but in comes Björksen and Closer, trying to get a kill onto Columnia. The shield is gonna try and keep it alive a little bit, but yes, and that shield bow sucking the blood, sucking the life out of the Sadbois. Gonna go for the double kill. Enough damage. Steal on Bloodthirster plus shield bow.
Everyone was on Calumnia's face, but he just lifestealed away. Tries to go stealthy as much as possible because he was invisible because of that final hour. And that outplay, man, that outplay basically is just game.
Yeah, is it? I mean, at this point, yes, to survive that, even as a super fed Vayne. But I think it's just it's also the lifesteal just pulling him through, letting him double lifesteal items as well. The exhaust is still available, so if like something like Björksen dives him, he still has the exhaust for the dual potential. But with a mid lane inhibitor taken down, they can go for Drake maybe and go for the game-ending push because these three inhibs down. So that's basically 3 nails in the coffin here for Sadbois. And they don't even need to go for the Drake. They just need to go for the last
is...
Oh no, YJY! It's just a prank, bro. It's just a prank.
Oh, we're not really going for it.
Oh, he styled on him. He styled on him. In comes the kill though. XZX able to take out Parzival. Like I said, he's a grenade. That's okay. Reveille taking a lot of damage here, but Threshold goes in with a dunk. He's able to go for the flag and rack outside as well. And Columnia is not even here. It's just YJY being the substitute marksman with his on-hit build. The boss is the last member remaining. I think this has to be game here. Of course, West Point is going to try and keep Sadbois hostage for a little bit longer here before going for the full game win. A little bit of a dandy play here from the boss, but in comes Columnia. Doesn't go for the last auto. Just a hostage-taking situation here. Gets a stun from the flawless duet, but the minions finish it off. And that's going to be West Point T1 winning the bronze match here 2-0 against Sadbois.
2-0 win. Congratulations. A well-deserved victory here for West Point Esports Team 1, as you know. Things were fun. I mean, they were just having fun, but we saw some fantastic plays coming from West Point Esports Team 1, along with Sadbois. Unfortunately, West Point Esports were just too fed in that game, and it's hard to come back from it. We did see some plays coming in from Osagi and Closer, especially the shutdown onto.
After they built up like a 7k gold lead moving forward. It's just too tough for the Samira Rel lane to scale up.
Sad time for Sadbois right now, as they are gonna be dropping up at 4th place at this Prominence Crown Cup Season 2 League of Legends tournament. 3rd place for West Point Esports Team 1. So congratulations to them. Well-deserved victory, a 2-0 sweep.
Yeah, and of course, even though they are 4th place, they are still getting a part of the prize pool here. So 3rd place, which is West Point Esports Team 1, gets $75, and 4th place gets $50 here. So they don't come home with nothing. Just getting into the top 4 is enough to get them a little bit something for their trouble. And yeah, getting their names out there, right? Getting their names out there in the league community, in the league landscape, it's got to be good for them. Hoping to see Sadbois play in tournaments as well. We have there's a lot of local tournaments happening monthly, so we're gonna have to see. And of course, West Point, we're always gonna be seeing them.
And speaking of winners, we also have a winner this time for a giveaway. Congratulations to Stewart Gillock. Correct me if my pronunciation is off mark, but congratulations to Stewart Gillock. You are a winner of the giveaway of Prominence Crown Cup Season 2. Please message Prominence Games on their Facebook page. Again, congratulations to Stewart Gillock. You are a winner of the giveaway here at Prominence Crown Cup Season 2. Please message Prominence Games on their page to claim your prize. And we have another series coming up, this time from
Grand finals.
Our winners on the semifinals. Grand finals this time, West Point Esports Academy versus Ataraxia Blue. You'll catch them on this best of 3 series later on after we take a short break. So don't go anywhere. This is Gion Gaming and Hiron saying see you later in a bit.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and our non-binary friends, to the Prominence Crown Cup Season 2 League of Legends Grand Finals. We'll be your shoutcasters for that. I'm Hyron, with me is Giang Gaming, and this is going to be West Point Esports Academy versus Ataraxia Blue, and I'm super excited for this one as well, Giang.
Yeah, it's a fantastic reverse sweep of West Point Esports Academy against West Point Esports Team 1 yesterday, and a dominating 2-0 by Ataraxia Blue against Sadbois yesterday. This time it's gonna be a battle against fire as well, because both teams are actually very proficient in their games yesterday, and actually expecting maybe a game 3 in this, unless West Point Esports Academy are going to be able to maintain their dominance after their good victory against their seniors during the semifinals. Looking back at their usual picks, I did see a lot of adjustments on the side of West Point Esports Academy, patching their mistakes from their game number 1 against Team 1 of West Point Esports. For the side of Ataraxia Blue, actually, they usually go in with their standard picks, but also within the meta, because yesterday we saw a difference between the picks of Sadbois and Ataraxia Blue, going in with their comfort, but also within the meta, and it usually what works on a more average rate that works for them in actuality. And
it's a little bit of a wild card, right? There's the Poppy pick, which we don't usually see from Encore on Foix, but the rest of it is pretty standard, like Lee Sin J4 jungle, Aurelia Oriana mid, double Jinx in the bot lane with Lulu or Galio. These are pretty standard, and West Point Academy immediately banning out the Blitzcrank here. So they've done their homework against Ataraxia Blue, and I am expecting a good fight here from Ataraxia Blue, because they are also part of a local organization. And both of these do have that organizational infrastructure, while West Point can scrim with their Team 1, which gives them a very tough situation to train in. Not tough, it's more like it's a high pressure training situation. It's like an X-Men death room, where you're fighting off of what might be the best team in Philippines League of Legends right now. Ito yun yung ka-train mo lagi. Meanwhile, Ataraxia Blue, they also have I'm sure that they have other people in the organization they can scrim with, but Poppy, let's see what Encore Unfa has to offer without the Poppy here, and Caitlyn being banned. Meanwhile, a lot of mid lane focus here against West Point Esports Academy.
Yeah, well, West Point Esports does have a strong mid lane matchup most of the time, and they even have solidified their ground in the mid lane on all 3 games that they had against West Point Esports Team 1, and Ataraxia Blue doesn't want that to happen. Especially the Zed yesterday of Agrona was insane, and we can see that happening if they don't ban it out, knowing that Ataraxia Blue mostly uses the Lee Sin for Look Justin. They go in with 2 to 3 frontline champions to aid their carries, and that's what usually works for them. And the West Point Esports Academy, they know this. They are going aggressive, starting off with a Nidalee pick.
Yeah, this was banned against West Point Academy the whole in their 2 games yesterday. When now that it's open, because there's so much other a mid lane priority here by Ataraxia Blue. Meanwhile, Lee Sin, Galio, as you said, lots of frontline, good map presence here. From early game, Lee Sin, of course, has a very high presence in the early game, getting those ganks out, high damage, good clear, can counter gank, can counter jungle. And the Galio post level 6, so for the entirety of level 1 to level 6 and level up to level 8, they have a lot of tools that they can use to keep the game's tempo in their favor. Meanwhile, Zeri is going to be the pickup here. Despite the nerfs making it easier to stick to Zeri and kill Zeri, she's less tanky now. I do think that she's still very, very powerful in a much more balanced spot. And with an Enchanter, is going to be very, very spicy indeed. So let's see what build that they're going to be going for with the Zeri, because I do think the crit is better now. much better now compared to like the Triforce like Bruiser build. But let's see how Ataraxia Blue finishes off their first phase of the draft.
Yeah, Zeri has been like so scary when it gets to scale. We saw it on West Point Esports Team 1. We saw it, we usually see it on tournaments as well when it's paired up with a utility support. Not even sure if this Karma would go on the support side because knowing West Point Esports Academy, they're also as adaptive as
Karma
their
mid,
seniors
possibly.
Can be Karma mid, and then they would still pick the Yuumi since it's not banned yet.
And this pretty much gives Zeri, if they go for that, like Karma mid and Yuumi bot, this gives Zeri a lot of the tankiness that she lost in terms of base stats and not going for the Triforce Bruiser build. So we're gonna have to see the Thresh being locked away. They basically want to give their bot lane here as much safety as possible. Mist on this Zeri is gonna be pretty scary here, but a lot of mid lane still. Almost all of these bans are mid lane. Yeah.
On the side of West Point Academy, they don't want those initiators that has hooks to be available on the side of Ataraxia Blue, knowing that they usually load up their crowd control, especially that they do have as well a Varus. So everyone on their first 3 picks has crowd control. It's not going to be impossible for them to add more, especially that they are needing the damage as well. Dr. Mundo coming into play. It's going to be a challenge for West Point Esports Academy to take him down. He's high in terms of sustain, and you can't actually pin him down. The changes on Dr. Mundo is obnoxious, and all these crowd controls are not going to affect him.
There is a way to deal with him, which is just to kite him.
And Zeri can do that.
And Zeri can definitely do that. Even though it is a little bit easier to stick to Zeri, it's not going to be easy if all your gap close is just running. So that's going to be the job pretty much of the Galio and the Lee Sin to try and pin that Zeri down, depending on what the last pick is going to be. So Jace top side here. And this Zeri, I mean, flexing Zeri isn't as popular as it was before, and with Jace being in the pool, that does mean most likely they're gonna go top side.
High damage.
Mid Kaisa with Zeri.
Mid or Zeri, actually. Because Zeri can be in the mid lane as well, and we do see it sometimes happening. But Tryndamere might threaten them. Like, even just the slow plus all these crowd controls, late game scaling is prominent on the side of Ataraxia Blue. When Tryndamere gets to hit anyone, literally anyone, cooldown of his gap close just lowers and lowers, and they just one-shots anybody since they don't have any tank.
Yeah, it's pretty much like similar to Viego, right? We mentioned this earlier, where it's the job of Lucas to wear them down. Depends on what build, right? Like, it depends on the build here. I don't think lethality is the way to go. I think maybe lethality into pivoting into a hybrid build could work for Lucas, but I don't think pure lethality is the way to go for this comp that they built up. But in any case, if they can give resets to 3-1-1-3 once he gets his Death Dance, it's gonna be very hard because Zeri getting slowed down by the scream from Tryndamere could actually give him enough time to wear him down, even with the Karma helping him out.
Yeah, and this is pretty much meta, you know, Tryndamere in the mid lane, 3-1-1-3, one of the strong mid laners of Ataraxia Blue, and he has demonstrated his flexibility on the role and his overall strength in the mid lane and the necessary skill set to actually win games. The shockwave yesterday onto Quitlol Muna allowed them to secure that 2-0, and now on the Tryndamere, it can really bully out West Point Esports if ever they make a mistake, especially in letting this Tryndamere scale up. And that's gonna put so much pressure and responsibility on austerity and ganking mid. But not only that, they also have bot lane because Lucas and Knuckles will be trying to win the lane as well, given that Galio as a support is pretty scary. 2 crowd
Good
controls
gap
at level 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think the taunt hurts Zeri the most out of any of any marksman. Like, as if you're Zeri, you don't want to be auto-attacking unless you're finishing off minions or a very low person. So
Yeah.
you can't go for the burst fire. Has to go for these weak auto-attacks against Galio. So yeah, I'm liking the Galio here from Ataraxia Blue. It's just gonna be about how much can this Galio make it hard for this Zeri in the laning phase before they transition into later in the game where they're poking with the Kaisa and the Jace and the Nidalee, and they're making a lot of space here. So like for West Point Academy, I like this. It's a very thematic comp where they have so much speed, they have so much space. This is like a better version of the comp built earlier by, not the comp, the theme that was built earlier by Sadbois, where you have a lot of space that you can create for yourself and a lot of ways to threaten that space with all the poke that they have. And Ataraxia Blue is going to have a very hard time actually getting into that, passing through that space that West Point Academy is making, unless Lee Sin, unless Luke Justine gets a very good Sonic Wave into Resonating Strike into Dragon's Rage.
And he has proven himself on his Lee Sin yesterday. He's actually consistently ganking all the lanes and preventing the scaling or even the snowball of their opponent. So West Point Esports Academy has to focus him as well, especially tracking him down wherever he goes, because whenever he's on scene, he's gonna make a play. He's gonna make his like any time worth it for the team to enable themselves. And West Point Esports Academy, well, having this adaptive team, having a high damage and kind of poking composition, they wouldn't be needing to kind of stay away from team fights, but also try to find a way to win the team fight before it even started. And one of their key champions for that are the Jace, the Nidalee, and the Zeri.
Yeah, and it's pretty much like it's a dance. It's gonna be a dance here for West Point Esports Academy, where they start off with the pokes that they have: Shock Blast, Javelin, and even the Karma can help out with the poke as well, and of course the Void Seeker. So, and when they're backing off, waiting for their cooldowns to finish, that's in their plans. That's when Ataraxia Blue is going to try and move forward, and that's where Mist comes into play, where he can kite very, very well and make space, and not really make space in a concrete way, but more in the covering fire, suppressing fire kind of way with a burst fire. So it's going to be very, very difficult here unless, like I said, they get a really good initiate with Luke Justine, or they get a pick up with 3113 assassinating someone.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be a big factor, like having the Varus on the composition of Ataraxia Blue, because, well, Galio initiates, Lee Sin initiates, Dr. Mundo and Tridere tries to chase, but Varus is like the cherry on top of their cake, like having that chain of corruption, having that finishing power to actually take down these very mobile champions of West Point Esports Academy is gonna be crucial onto them. They need to find a way to, one, bully or like prevent being bullied, because West Point Esports Academy are gonna be trying to bully them, especially that they do have the Nidalee and the Jace. But the second responsibility is them being able to scale up better or faster than West Point Esports Academy. If they are gonna be able to do those two things, I think Ataraxia Blue has a pretty solid fighting chance.
Yeah, so it's really all about execution here for both of these teams. Of course, I like the theme, as I said, from the comp of West Point Academy, West Point Esports Academy. But it's, like I said, it's a dance, and if you mess up the dance moves, you're gonna trip and fall. And
you got a sprain. No, you can't dance anymore if you have that.
Yeah, and when you get sprained, this is a very precarious comp, right? This comp from West Point does not have a front line. So if they, nasabi mo na tapilok sila, they get like their leg, and they pull a muscle on their leg, or their foot's out of commission. Ataraxia Blue can really capitalize on that and continue pressing the assault, right? Like once that dance falls apart, Ataraxia Blue just comes in and continue and just over and over goes for these initiates. And if they're caught out of position, I usually out the Galio in my not really calculations, in my predictions on how the initiates are going to go. Because usually Galio is there to follow up and not really to initiate himself unless he has the flash. So, but if West Point Academy is out of position, that Knuckles can come in with the Idol Durant from the flash, then that's a big misstep. So let's see, Ataraxia Blue gonna try and see what is up in his bot lane. Finds nothing, but it doesn't seem like West Point is making any moves to get vision, early game vision on the Raptors or the red buff.
Yep, it's not gonna be the same as during the previous game a while ago. I mean, they're gonna get a cheesy play, a cheesy kill before the game even has started. Pretty standard start for both teams. Red side priority for both junglers and basically their bots and bot lane duo are gonna be just farming up to start this game.
Yeah, pretty much. And for the most part here in the early game, we're not going to be seeing too much action from West Point here. This is, oh, that's big. Missing that initial Soul Flare and missing the initial bursts pretty much means that Mist and Forgotten has to play a little bit more carefully. Yes, they do have pots ticking, but they're not able to leverage an early level 2 to prevent Knuckles and Lucas from trying anything funny in the early game.
Forgotten actually is a really good on utility champions. It's just unfortunate a while ago that he has missed, but right now they're doing a really good job. That's the goal of their dragon laners, essentially. 3-1-1-3, attacking Agrona a while ago, nearly even chunks him down to 1/3 of his health, but due to the range advantage, Agrona is going to be winning this, especially with the exhaust available.
Yeah, pretty much. And at this point, all 3-1-1-3 is doing here is making sure that he's not being pushed into tower by Agrona. So he's willing to trade a little bit of his HP. He has a Doran shield to help him out. He has his own mini heal when he has Fury to get his HP back up. And here's just like Mist and Forgotten did run it back, even though missing the initial trade. Lucas and Knuckles didn't really challenge them enough. And they basically like lose out, or rather Lucas misses out on that early level 2. And yeah, that's why 3-1-1-3 is so scary on this Tryndamere, is he can trade back a lot of damage. And Agrona though does have the exhaust, does have the rage advantage, can trade it back, does have Biscuit plus refillable pots here, so there's a lot of sustain coming through.
Yeah, especially if you have the resolve runes on the Tryndamere. You get a lot of healing, lots of sustain inside the lane, and it's not gonna be pretty much a bad time for 3-1-1-3. Looking at him is mostly just sustaining half of his life in the lane and being able to keep up a little bit in terms of CS, since right now Justin is engaging.
Ooh, that's gonna be a dodge onto Zap there, but seems like West Point Academy this isn't really going for a kill. Like if they get a kill, that's good, but they're pretty much just pressing their advantage to get priority bot lane, maybe delay Ataraxia Blue's jungle cleared a little bit and get some offensive vision right there. So with those wards being placed, Luke Justine pretty much cannot gank this bot lane unless they're already overcommitting here. And Relhia lost a lot of mana here, having to build up his own mana, and that's gonna be the HP coming in from Encore Unfwa, picking up the kill there against Relhia. A little bit overconfident in the range advantage and the hammer damage right there.
Yeah, that's the roids kicking in.
Yeah.
Dr. Mundo. There's no checkpoints here. No drug test. We're gonna be just having that muscle, like, basically
Relhia running it back though. But misses the shock blast. Oh no, that could have been a kill. Runs it back. So all this accomplishes for Relhia is he burns his flash. There's gonna be a dive into the bot lane here. Austerity has to flash over. Nice one. But Luke finishes him off, and in comes a resonating strike. Miss gonna get taken down by one last auto attack. Forgotten is the last alive. Luke Justin tries to go for the Sonic Wave, but does miss. Forgotten. Can he get one last kill here? That's Ignite does pull through. That Sonic Wave was big. He missed it, and that allows a kill to be taken back by West Point, but that's still four kills total here for Ataraxia Blue. And right now, 3-1-3 is actually, at this point, he's dealing out so much damage.
Yeah, this Tryndamere is scary. is even keeping up in terms of CS, and it's gonna take a longer time for the guys to scale up, comparing it to the Tryndamere, which is forcing that flash.
And a lot of these trades are very swingy as well on 3113, right? Like if he gets a crit, he probably forces Agrona to use sums. If he doesn't, he just like eats it. Here, Austerity is gonna try and punish 3113 a little bit, delay his recall, and let Agrona get a better shove in before he recalls himself. But for the most part, West Point Academy, 700, 600 gold ahead, not that bad despite the kill deficit. They just need to survive this early game because they're not really geared towards dominating early game with this comp.
Not at all. Well, actually, their comp should have been dominating the game, especially in the lane. But the way they're playing it, it's not happening at all for West Point Esports Academy. You know, Ataraxia Blue are doing a fantastic job in managing them. Like the risk they're taking, especially led by Luke Justin, is astonishing.
Though this is like they can dominate early game, but for this comp, I think it's okay if they're a little bit behind here. But Austerity gonna jump in, recognizes an Encore on Quas right there. Well, he walked to the wrong neighborhood, and that's Ataraxia Blue running away with another kill. So that ends up being a 2K, like 1.9K gold lead, and that's a lot more substantial than the 700 I mentioned earlier.
1-6, 2,000 gold lead for Ataraxia Blue. Bot lane is, well, it is winning. Miss is ahead in terms of CS, but if we do check out the gold, there's a 500 gold deficit on his hand comparing to Lucas. And the 3113 just getting scary and scary. Just brick boots, and he's already doing all this.
He's going all in here. He's gonna try and go leverage the Undying Rage. Nice killer instinct. This should pass on the kill to Austerity.
Yeah,
good punish there from Agrona. Great use of the ulti defensively. And that's gonna give them a return kill right there. But the deficit is still there. It's like 1.4K.
Yeah. A good punish, especially on that sidestep. That was unexpected by 3113. He was expecting him to use the killer instinct back, but no, he went back onto the tower instead. And top lane, well, it's hard to kill a Dr. Mude. He has roids, for Christ's sake.
And look at that. She's regenerating all the HP lost in that trade with ulti. And Relia does not have the same privilege when it comes to regen. So at this point, Relia 0 and 2 is a little bit tough, but once again, he just needs to complete those first 2 items, and that's when it really starts hurting. Like you said, it's good. They had a potential to dominate early with how much power that the Jace and the Zeri have, and of course the Nidalee ganks. Ganks are a little bit lukewarm, but the damage is there. But they just need to survive through this early phases of the game, because this comp, while it can dominate early, it's not geared for it. And like this theme does not necessarily have it in their plans to dominate early game.
The Tryndamere, once he gets, I'm not even sure what he's gonna get, because there's multiple builds on the Tryndamere. Sometimes they even get the Guild Force for the extra crit. And once you get that 100% crit, basically you just one-hit anybody at 2 items.
Double longsword is telling. It could be anything, right? But I think it's most likely just gonna be Noon Quiver first. Like double longsword, get the dagger. Otherwise, what's the other thing that you can go for? It's not like the other thing you can go for is that could be the way to go. He might go for something like weird, like lethality, but with the runes that he has, steals it away. In comes the hero's entrance, but here comes Mist from downtown. He does get the shutdown onto Luke Justine, and now they're playing keep away here. Mist, is he gonna try and play with fire here? He does have some backup in Forgotten, but I think they're gonna be satisfied with a kill trade and the Drake being stolen. That is pretty good for West Point. This Ocean Drake is going to be huge value when they actually start doing the dance that I mentioned earlier. Once they start sieging, that Ocean Drake is going to give them a lot of value over time.
Yeah, and well, Miss is starting to scale up. The mobility of this champion is gonna aid them, especially with the Tryndamere trying to close the distance, even with a Ghost, even with a Stride Breaker or the Gale Force, it's not going to be enough to chase down a Zeri.
And for the most part, once he finishes his Triforce here, it should be a lot easier for West Point Academy to start fighting. Like, that's the power spike that they're waiting for, right? The first mythic for these carries, and then they can start terrorizing Ataraxia Blue's turrets. If there's a Rift Herald or the next Drake, Ataraxia Blue cannot start these Drakes unless they already got a kill. They can't do it. They can't do the objectives raw. They have to like set it up for themselves first. Like, they can't do it from neutral. They have to commit an advantage first in their favor.
Yeah, Sunfire Age is completed already by Ancon Fa. And well, I don't think that Jace can actually win against this Dr. Mundo anymore at this point, especially when he gets... I'm not even sure. Like, he's gonna get steel caps for sure, but I'm not sure if it's gonna get any MR just yet, because Agrona is gonna take a while before he gets his, AP items. And Nidalee is struggling a little bit in terms of dealing the necessary damage, and it's not gonna be the Dr. Mundo necessarily that they are gonna target. So we can just focus on trying to chase down Mist or Agrona during the team fight to provide that peel for the team, while 3113 is gonna be a monster in that fight.
There is a chance that Warmogs might be the play. Instead of going for a dedicated MR item, you can just take the poke from both Rally and Austerity and just heal it back up with the great Mist Shot. Comes in with a lightning crash. Austerity comes in for the burst damage. Mist taking so much damage. Winds of War missing. In comes a Void Seeker, and Agrona's coming in. Killer Instinct gets the shutdown. Knuckles gets baited by Mist to go back in, and Forgotten picks up the kill, and he remembers to be the backup for his team right there, and that's 2 kills, almost evening out the gold score. This should give them a plate or 2 on the bot side. Meanwhile, 3113 is going to try and leverage that, shove in as hard as he can, get that gold. But that is pretty good from West Point Academy. No casualties. In comes Lich.
Fantastic shielding as well by Forgotten. Not really forgetting to aid his ally aside from attacking their enemy. So overall, West Point Academy finding ways to come back in this game. The deficit a while ago in terms of gold, the 3k gold deficit, is now gone. West Point Esports Academy are back in play.
Yeah, for sure. Relia. He does have the flash, so he can try and escape here, and does have the backup of Agrona. So 3113 instantly recognizes this and backs off. Because I think Relia, I don't think he could have gone for a solo kill, but he could have threatened 3113 with it, since he does have a lot of tools to make space for himself, like the To the Skies and the Hammer Blow, as well the E, to knock him away. So for now, though, a little bit of a dance. Next objective is probably going to be the Drake or the mid lane turret for our teams. Bot lane also very possible for West Point Academy.
Eclipse on Lucas says that, okay, he's going to be trying to build more lethality and armor penetration to try and one-shot these hyper carries. And especially, like, everybody on the side of West Point Academy are quite squishy, in fact. So just one piercing arrow can do the work, especially with the help of the Chain of Corruption and Knuckles on his crowd control. And right now, I think they just have to avoid these ganks, especially by Austerity, which is constantly trying to make plays to aid Mist and Forgotten.
Yeah, these ganks from Austerity aren't going to be super reliable, since he is on that Nidalee and they don't really have a lot of CC. It's the value comes in when there's a counter gank, right? Like Ataraxia is already committed. That means that West Point Academy doesn't need to chase down anyone with their lackluster CC. But here at Ataraxia Blue, they're taking a lot of these turrets here, and actually getting the first turret of the game. Rel is going to get ganked here. Immediate Dragon's Rage, and Encore Quad picks it up. Meanwhile, Mountain Drake going to get picked up by West Point. So that's essentially turret and kill for Mountain Drake, which is, once again, it's a pretty bad trade here. But if they can get bot lane, it evens out a little bit. And this is pretty much an investment into the later stages of the game, which is what West Point Academy's team is all about. But second turret in this top side could get taken down if they have no one to respond to that, because they're committing hard onto with 2 champions here.
It has to be Relia, 3113. Gauging onto Agrona, not really the best decision, as Forgotten is there to help him out. No dash.
They could trade mid lane turret here, which I do think might be more worth it than second tier top side. But I don't think they're gonna challenge 3-1-1-3 here since they don't have a lot of vision where Ataraxia blue is.
Yeah. So far in this 15-minute game, both teams are playing this out really well. And like what you said, Warmugs for the Dr. Mundo. He has completed it already and he's gonna be able to soak up as much damage as he can, but they have to be very, very careful because Zeri is starting to scale up, matching his CS against Lucas and gank in the bot. Knuckles is dead.
That is dirty. They pretty much waited for Lucas to... They didn't have vision, but they pretty much like waited for Knuckles to, as late as possible, delay that recall, go for the kill. Quite clean, and West Point Academy, rare pickoff from this comp.
Yeah, that's gonna help them in terms of the economy, though it's not that much. It's okay though. It's okay. It's gonna mess with the momentum here of Ataraxia Blue. Now they're preparing for the second Rift Herald. This is gonna be crucial, actually. Both teams are gonna try to contest this and get the Rift Herald to get the mid lane tower of their enemy team. And Lucas, starting to hurt a little bit. Chain of Corruption though, thrown away.
And that's one big tool that they don't have available. Is 3-1-3 going to go for the tower dive?
Gale Force.
Yes, yeah. Like I said, the Gale Force is very good because it's an execute tool. It's a gap closer. It has everything that Tryndamere wants to do his job, and he's going to be a very, very big threat here. They can try and go for the mid lane turret here after picking up the Rift Herald, but that means 3-1-1-3 has a lot of space to farm in this bot lane. And Ataraxia Blue, they've pretty much put a lot of their eggs into the 3-1-3 basket here, even though he's only 1-1 and only has 1 kill, and Lucas has a lot of their gold. But I do think that 3-1-1-3 really is the way to go here against this West Point Academy comp so far.
Oh, here's like a Shield of Duran.
Idle Duran here gonna come through, Forgotten. Encore and Foy is just ignoring all of this. It's gonna be Hero's Entrance, but look at that, Forgotten getting poked down by Lucas. Has to back off here, but in comes from the side Relia once again. Manila encounters dito, finding 3-1-1-3, and he did not have Undying Rage at that point. Sonic Wave is gonna miss, is gonna take a lot of damage here, but flash over, Burst Fire to suppress the rest of Ataraxia Blue. Agrona picks up
here comes the Kites.
Coming in with Excel Gate. In comes the Resonating Strike. Can he finish the job? No, Agrona stays alive, and now Lucas on the run. He does not have, he does have Chains of Corruption here, but I think the rest of West Point is just interested in going for the turret. He does pick up Relia, runs it back for his team, evens out the kill score. They do lose their mid lane turret, but it's just pretty much a trade happening very, very soon, because this mid lane on the side of West Point is also very, very low. That was a very, very messy fight.
Fantastic kiting actually on the side of West Point Esports Academy. Just that misplay in the tower for Relia that allowed Lucas to secure the kill, but they did get the mid lane tower. It's gonna help them in the rotations on the jungle side of Ataraxia Blue. And Mist is starting to be a problem. Once he gets his Titanic Hydra, he's gonna hurt even more, and it's pretty much untouchable as of the moment. Look, Justin, we saw him trying to get in along with Knuckles, but it still wasn't enough. So they need to be able to do that later on, or else they're just gonna get kited all over and over.
Yeah, which is, Agrona thinks is gonna get tough.
Yeah, not really. Yeah. It's like
he's not. It's just.
It's like a featherweight trying to, try to
fight against a heavyweight, right? And since he's on AP without Nashers yet,
heavyweight with
he's not gonna be shredding through all that HP that Encore and Fall has. And in this fight so far, and that team fight is actually very significant because it shows us how the rest of the team fights are gonna go. Where if there's no big initiation from the hero's entrance or Luke Justine getting a good Dragon's Rage, it becomes very easy for West Point to kite it out. So Knuckles and Luke Justine have a lot of responsibility right now for their team, because if they don't get that initiation where they can lock down one member of West Point, then they're gonna get kited back, even if 3-1-1-3 is there to deal that damage.
And the dragons are actually gonna help. having 2 more stacks on the Dragon for West Point Esports Academy, if they are gonna be able to get this Hextech Dragon, the slows are gonna help them kite even more. The members of Ataraxia Blue, but they are trying to get it. It's their first stack as of the moment. Not really the fastest way to get their soul, but it is delaying the stacks here of West Point Esports Academy. Gale Force and maybe a potential additional crit item here for 3113 to have that insane amount of damage towards the members of West Point Esports, while their Dr. Mundo is just gonna be tankier and tankier and tankier as ever.
Yeah. With the Caulfield's Warhammer though, I do think, it is going to be Navori Quick Blades, which is going to be an additional crit chance, plus very significant in getting the resets on his on his spinning slash right there. So with the Navori Quick Blades, I do think that a lot of people go for IE next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To have that one-shot power.
I am a proponent of Death's Dance 4th item after IE. I do think that it gives 3113 a lot more reset potential, so he's not just coming in, getting those early, getting like 1 kill and then having to peace out after his Undying Rage falls off. So, but here, approaching 22 minutes in the game, West Point is nearing that event horizon where their poke is going to be too much to deal with, and with their Ocean Drake, Lucas might not be enough. So they have to force these fights. They have to go for these flanks. They have to go for really high execution, Dragon's Rage plays here from Luke Justine. And it's going to be very, very difficult, with Baron being a very real possibility here from both of these teams.
And Knuckles is actually he has a lot of responsibility to initiate for the team. If he lands even just 1 CC onto miss, it's gonna help them so much during the team fight.
They have the Shurelius as well to help with the gap close against the Pokemon.
Yeah, lots of movement speed. Okay, Zeri's fast, but so can we. Not as fast though as a Zeri. So they're gonna try to catch him up.
It is going to be like over the longer. Ooh, okay, that's actually not too big with a shield. Over the course of a short period of time, the Shurelius could catch up to Mist, but it's like a 100-meter run versus a marathon. So they have to finish the fight that fast, right? They have to finish the fight already. Once 3-1-1 and 3's Undying Rage falls off, the fight already has to be won in their favor. They don't need to do an ace. They just need to get 2 or 3 members down, and then 3-1-1 and 3 can finish off the rest, and Encore and Fua can try and chase down any stragglers.
Lucas already has that Mirror Mana, so all these piercing arrows are gonna hurt even more, especially with the Serpent's Fang.
Cut to the shields.
Cut to the shields. Lots of lethality as well, and it's gonna hurt so much. A lot of pressure onto Agrona and Miss, but they're chasing down 3-1-1-3.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna have to go for already use the Undying Rage at that point. Void Seeker is gonna miss at that point, but with the speed boost from the Inspire, is it gonna be enough? No, they have to back up because of the TP coming
Here's the Dr. Mundo.
Encore Unfwa. He does not care. He can get shredded down, but Agrona is taking a lot of damage here. Forgotten is working overtime, keeping him alive. Hero's Entrance comes in. But Agrona gets the pick off on 3-1-1-3 with the Void Seeker. Knuckles is gonna have to be on the run here, but one more shot here. Austerity is gonna claw him. No, Agrona's gonna hit him with the plasma proccing Void Seeker, and now Encore and Fwa is on the run. And you cannot outrun this team. They've got Axel Gate, they've got
Lucas
Fire. Yeah, Lucas playing good keep away with his suppressing fire on his team, but here comes Relia with the assassination, with the Eclipse proc, easily pushes through, and this is gonna become a 4 or 5v2. Encore cannot sustain this, has to back away, and that's kind of the problem that mid game Dr. Mundo has. He has all my friends are dead syndrome.
Yeah.
Because he's a meat sponge. He's like a damage sponge, but he doesn't really have a lot of ways to convince people to go for him, right? He doesn't have a taunt. He doesn't have any big CC options that can turn the tide in their favor. But here comes Ataraxia Blue though. A lot of members from West Point Esports are down. But Undying Rage is gonna come through. He gets a kill onto Relhia, but he's gonna get taken down by Mist most likely. You know, Agrona picks him up. Meanwhile, Knuckles trying to front for his team, but Lucas cannot sustain the assault. Cannot sustain the assault there as Lucasine has to run away. Now Encore Unfwa is pretty much alone, unable to get any kills here. Lucas is very, very late to the party, and Lucasine does survive. The good thing here for Ataraxia Blue is that they cancel the Baron, but gold is now
even. They could have turned though on the Baron since it's just 5 HP.
Yeah,
technically, or like 2K.
Possible.
Yeah,
but
especially with the crit.
Because if they get the Baron, they do get the gold and the XP from the Baron, but if they just get wiped out by West Point because they focus the Baron, it doesn't accomplish much. At least this way, they allow Baron to be on the field, which means that West Point Academy might want to go for it. And if they go for this, they're gonna be a soul point after this one. So Ataraxia Blue not able to deny this one unless they Lucastine doesn't have the resources to go unless it's gonna get secured by West Point Academy.
Yeah, we already saw the hesitations coming in from the side of Ataraxia Blue, and at that point we already knew that West Point Esports are gonna get this Hextech Dragon. Might even be the Baron, as Ataraxia Blue are struggling as of the moment. We are even in the gold department, but the Zeri is actually the biggest of them all. Especially with Agron just doing the damage with the killer.
It's a relatively slow
Seeker.
Baron here. The thing is, if they don't get a good initiation, it's just gonna be a repeat of the previous Baron fight. So Relia's looking to assassinate Luke Justine, most likely. Relia's gonna come in as well. Hero's entrance doesn't hit anyone.
Oh no, everyone's in the pit.
Yeah, but everyone's in the pit. They stole the Baron! But Miss is gonna flash over the wall here, chase down Lucas. He's gonna get rooted by the chains of corruption, but they are under pursuit.
Trying
the
to run,
slow does hit from the Zapper, and that is going to be 4 Baron buffs down. They're hunting 3, 1, 1, and 3. You stole our Baron. We're gonna keep you from getting any value from it. But good, Ataraxia Blue is able to steal the Baron, which stops a lot of West Point Academy's momentum. But they still lose a lot of members, and they're keeping up in gold. And at this stage of the game, West Point Esports Academy with 1K gold behind is actually ahead of Ataraxia Blue because of the Drakes and because of the nature of their comp.
They can just kite them out. Good job by 3113 though, cutting down the wave in the mid lane so that West Point Esports Academy can't get anything out of that. They attempted to get a kill onto 3113, but well, he is fast as well. And the ulti of Mist is already long gone. So maybe this time, it's gonna be slow pace. We're gonna be looking at the Hextech Dragon for sure. Soul point already. If West Point Esports Academy get this, it's gonna be pretty much almost GG already for Ataraxia Blue because of these lows.
Yeah, if they get that soul in the next 3 minutes here, and they are once again. The silver lining here for Ataraxia Blue is because West Point Academy is on blue side. Their Drake is a lot more dangerous. Taking Drake is a lot more dangerous because their frontline, backline is going to be all messed
these
up,
pokes.
right? They're not going to be able to poke very well unless they pull the Drake out of the pit, which means it's closer to Ataraxia Blue. But I think they're just going to focus on sieging these turrets once again. That's the dance, right? They siege turrets, they poke, Ataraxia Blue tries to move forward, they move back while Mist kites, and the rest of them get their big damage off. And look at that, Mist doesn't care. He is still on that bruisery Zeri build that's very, very survivable. Mountain Drake backing them up.
Yeah, even has the Black Lever to be able to kill the Dr. Mundo even more. He is on the brush. He is gonna get chased down. Pops out the ult. He's gonna be able to sustain himself for sure.
Engaging gameplay. Well, Ult Shock Laser gonna slow him down, but I don't think he cares too much. It's really more about controlling the space than killing Encore on Hua, right? Like, it's more on shooing him away so they can set up vision and control the waves than it is trying to kill him, which is, and the longer this game goes, like I said, the more that West Point Academy is going to be able to dance to the rhythm. And they're going to be able to dictate the tempo here. Meanwhile, Ataraxia Blue is going to try and force something, disrupt that tempo, but it's going to be very, very difficult the longer the game goes.
Yeah, AP Kaisa working so well. I mean, Lucas took one Void Seeker and already almost half his health down.
And unlike West Point, they don't have Ocean Drake to kind of pad that HP a little bit during these long poke exchanges.
Like the dragon type is very much suitable just for West Point Academy at this point. You know, maybe Ataraxia Blue because of the slow, but it's hard to get 3 more stacks than it is, you know, getting just 1 stack.
That's like at minimum like an almost 1 hour game if they go for all the stacks up to Soul. And even though the ability haste is okay, I guess it helps Lucas out, it helps Knuckles and Luke Justine, and even 3113 out, but it's just not big enough of an advantage. And by the time it's 50 minutes, it's gonna be very hard, even for 3113 who scales very, very highly with these items. The thing is, the Lucas, since he went full lethality instead of going for a hybrid pivot, is not going to be very useful later in the game, especially once West Point Academy gets their secondary defensive items after finishing their primary core items.
Well, it's still going to be quite useful, especially that their opponent are purely on pokes. They're going to try to contest here.
That's going to be the Chains of Corruptions missing. Relic comes in with the To the Sky, 3113, tries to make something happen. Undying Rage already popped. He does get the kill though, and this is what I was talking about. Drake is a lot more dangerous, but they're able to run it back 2 against 3. 3113 escapes with a sliver of his life. And even despite Ataraxia Blue getting a very good early Drake there, like they were able to get a big initiation while West Point's Academy, they had their backs to them. It just wasn't enough because at this stage in the game, West Point Academy can restructure their frontline very well and just out-kite you.
Oh, they're just gonna end the game. Austerity is trying to chase down 3113 so that only Luke Justin can defend. But yeah, he's gonna be able to escape.
I think he has to. Oh, he's continuing the chase here. Not going to be phased by 3113. I think the play here for 3113 is to stall for as long as possible to get his ulti back, but I don't think Austerity is going to let him because you already have the Hextech Soul, slow him down. And
nice dodge though.
Yeah, nice dodges so far. Delaying a lot of time here, but in the end, it's still going to be a kill. And West Point Academy don't lose too much. And actually, because a chase led them topside, they're in a good position to reestablish vision control over this Baron pit.
Oh. Yeah, no Tryndamere in the next 40 seconds. And, well, they can just start this. They have the necessary damage to do so. Zer is pushing out top, while Relia is pushing mid. This is becoming a sandwich position for Ataraxia Blue, but they're not hesitating. Knuckles is here.
But I don't think this is going to accomplish much. Like they Sonic Wave, but Relia also has the Eclipse, right? So that also gives him some vamp.
So much
actually, even with the taunt, it doesn't accomplish much. And Encore Unflaw is just going to have to run away without accomplishing much as well. With all these members dead on the side of Ataraxia Blue, this might be a good opportunity. Actually, might not even need to go for Baron. It's 40-second death timers for Encore Unflaw. They can probably end this or at least make a huge dent in the base of Ataraxia Blue. 3113 is alive. Does not have the ghost though, so he's not going to be very sticky to his targets. And I think West Point can actually just force the game win here. Unless Ataraxia Blue gets a really, really big, like, Dragon's Rage here.
That's gotta hurt. That's a dent.
He didn't even get to use his Undying Rage at that point.
Yeah,
but that's West Point Academy. Just slow and steady. Eventually, they get to their power spikes, and then once that happens, they just beat Ataraxia Blue in every single fight.
Fantastic victory. Fantastic game, honestly, for both of these teams. But West Point Esports Academy showing, well, just like their seniors, showing their discipline in the game. And well, it's gonna be a fantastic victory here for West Point Esports Academy, and they are gonna be match point already in the series.
And I love this because this is a little bit of, it's very different kind of draft theming from their games against against West Point Team 1 yesterday, right? This is a very like I keep using the word thematic comp because it's very solid. The concept for the composition is very concrete. It has a solid game plan. It has all the tools to maintain that game plan. And even though it's not quote unquote well-rounded in the sense that they don't have a front line, they can just power through it by evasion. It's like instead of blocking with a shield, what they're doing is just dodge, like iframe dodging everything in Dark. So that's what they've been doing here in this game, and I'm loving these kinds of compositions from our teams.
Yeah, let's see if West Point Esports can finish this off 2-0 in the grand finals, or will Ataraxia Blue be able to adapt just like West Point Esports? That's what we're gonna be finding out later as we are going on a very short break. But when we come back, it's game number 2 time. Match point for West Point Esports and the strive for Ataraxia Blue. Again, we are your shoutcasters. Gion Gaming here with me is Hyron. We'll be back after a 5-minute break.
Don't go away.
Yeah.
Let's go, everyone. Prominence Crown Cup Season 2, League of Legends Grand Finals, Game 2 between West Point Esports Academy versus Ataraxia Blue. We'll be your shoutcasters for this. I am Hyron, with me is Gian Gaming, and with 1-0 in favor of West Point, they're already on match point here. So let's see how Ataraxia Blue can come back from this, Gian.
Yeah, we end. It's going to be an interesting one. Let's see if they are going to be able to complete this into a 2-0, or will Ataraxia Blue be able to catch up? And I'd like to let everyone know that we are also going to be having a winner's interview here. Whoever wins the series will be interviewed, and of course we'd like to know their thoughts on everything that has gone on. Looking at the picks and bans right now, well, it's kind of surprising. We're seeing the
bans.
Akali coming into light as of the moment.
We'll get back to you on the bans, but Akali being locked in on priority. Akali hasn't... she's okay. Like, after all the nerfs, before all the adjustments that Riot has tried to make to keep Akali in check, Akali has much more swingy matchups, right? But she's still a very strong pick. Meanwhile, TF plus Lee Sin, I'm liking this already. It's pretty much the same way I like Galio Lee Sin, where you have a lot of map presence for the entire laning phase and level 6. Meanwhile, Luke Justine with the Heck Rim means that they are going to have a very good ganking power into the mid game here, plus the Veigar for that late game insurance, plus the Event Horizon, or they can go for LeBlanc. I think LeBlanc works better here for their comp so far, but Veigar is very respectable as well.
What are your thoughts about the Viego though being picked up? I think the Veigar being picked up,
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be super hyper scaling, but also gonna be crucial, especially that West Point Esports Academy is currently building a early game snowball team fight. And
I like the Veigar.
yeah.
I would have liked the LeBlanc more because it kind of leans into a mid-game stomp comp. But with a Veigar being active or being picked right here, it gives him a lot of space. And space could be something that they need here against the early game comp that, or the early game smashing comp that West Point has. Like they have the Lee Sin, Twisted Fate to come in at level 6. The Silas to steal away two pretty big ultis here from Luke Justine and 3-1-1-3. And this was, I believe, banned? No, this wasn't banned against them. It was specifically for a counter, ban Silas for a counter pick specifically against West Point earlier. But I like the Silas pickup because it allows him to steal one initiating ulti, one high damage assassination ulti from the Veigar. But the Veigar itself, with the Event Horizon, controls so much space in these team fights. So we're not able to see the bans just yet here, but this is already shaping up to be a very, very spicy game 2 in this best of 3, where momentum is everything when you win the first game.
Yeah, and well, the Silas is really scary, to be honest. I'm actually scared about this because of how it can just get everything from your hands. And right now, yeah, we can now check out the
there we go.
The bans here. Yumi taken away. Yeah,
So
I understand a little bit.
away all of these picks so far. Yeah, kind of makes sense how the first few picks did end up being these here. With the Yumi and the Thresh being banned here against Ataraxia Blue, that does mean that Lucas is going to have a little bit more trouble in enabling himself. And with Akali and Veigar, they might need to opt for a safer lane here. With the Jinx being banned, Aphelios is also on the table right there, relatively safe. I think Ashe I think would be really good here, but if this is gonna be... Is this gonna be like support Trundle with the pillar to really help out Kaisa here to get the early game trades? Honestly, we're gonna have to see how that plays out, because I was thinking that Ataraxia Blue doesn't want to spread their resources too thin. Like they have Kaisa, they have Veigar, they have Akali. All of these kind of want a little bit of jungle attention, and if there's 3 different carries that you want to enable with your jungler is gonna be very, very tough.
I'm kind of hesitant on the Zeri pick, but knowing West Point Esports Academy, I think they can pull this off. I'm just scared because one, Akali, and two, Veigar. They don't actually need to chase. All they need to do is, well, Akali can chase, and he will, but the Veigar only just has to hit his spell, especially the ulti. Once Zeri is half health, he can just kill him in an instant later on. And early game can be established once again here by Ataraxia Blue and West Point Esports Academy, as if they can actually pull something off. This is a good job though on their side, stealing out, look, Justin's Lee Sin, which he has had a fantastic performance a while ago, but with the Hecarim, I think he can make some plays as well. The Trundle though is kind of interesting.
It's interesting. I don't think it has enough utility to really be a super viable support pickup, but it might be a good tech pick, specifically against Zeri. But the thing is, they picked Zeri into the Trundle, so I'm not really sure the thought process on why Trundle first. But with the Veigar, with the Trundle, it acts as a very good tech against Zeri. Like Zeri runs, that's the way she kites. She doesn't have a flash. You can block it with Event Horizon. You can block it with a pillar. These are very big tools, and because of how the comp is constructed for West Point, the main carry here really is Zeri. Like TF and Silas, yes, they can deal damage, but it's not the same. It doesn't match up to other high damage carries on the solo lane. So they're really gonna be putting a lot of eggs into the Zeri basket here. So I'm expecting a lot of 3v2s, 4v2s, 4v3s in a bot lane, with our Agrona helping them out with austerity as well. And Relia can just stay in topside, teleport when he needs to, maybe steal Luke Justine's ulti and turn the team fight from there. But they have to really make sure that Mist has a good laning phase in mid game.
And that's going to be a big responsibility on Austerity and Agrona as well on the rotations, because they are going to be the ones to actually dictate where they want to go and direct the whole team on their pathway. Ataraxia Blue are going to be trying to scale for sure. They're going to be trying to scale up and try to bully or respond to the plays of West Point Esports Academy, since most of the time they are going to be farming out. Keep in watch though on Luke Justin later on, because on this Hecarim, he's gonna be making plays. I mean, most of the time, Hecarim ever since PCS qualifiers, Hecarim has been the stable jungler. Even during the time of the Udyr, the horse just
get it, because you said stable. But yeah, Hecarim. It's good that you mentioned Hecarim, because I was actually thinking.
I'm learning it. No. I'm trying to adapt from Yuko yesterday.
It's so different. Like Yuko, my style is so different from Yuko, but the dynamic is different. But it's so fun. I wish I could have casted with Yuko as well, but at this point, Hecarim, right? Good that you mentioned Hecarim, because I do think that he is going to be the trump card here in this matchup. Yes, you have Lucas. Yes, you have 3113. But out of anyone, the one that can stick to Zeri is going to be the Hecarim. And this is really going to depend on how Luke Justine itemizes. Is he going to go for the very cringe tank Hecarim that just wants to stay for as long as possible and ramp up damage over the course of the team fight?
Tank build,
or is he going to be like
a Divine Sunder,
the very based Hecarim build that goes Divine Sunder? It's really going to depend, because I think he's the best shot at sticking to Mist Zeri at this point, unless they get some really good Event Horizons and really good executions with the Akali, right? Like Shuriken Flip doesn't care how far Zeri runs, right? Just go on.
Yeah, it's just gonna. If it hits, it's gonna follow. It's gonna follow. It doesn't take that much to kill a Zeri. She is very, very squishy. Yeah, that's the balance of it. Yes, he is so mobile, but it only takes a few damage to actually knock him down, and that's what Ataraxia Blue are going to be trying to get with the Akali pick. Pretty much most on like the lineups, the matchups, Akali is one of the best champion that can delete these hyper carries because of the perfect execution and overall kit of the Akali. Plus the Shroud, man. He can kill you, but you can't chase him or like can't see the Akali.
Yeah, that's why there's a lot of like really degen strats that involve like Akali, Senna, and Gwen. Not necessarily all in the same comp, but just being able to be untargetable or invisible makes way for a lot of like one-sided plays. And yeah, we're gonna have to see. Of course, out of all the marksmen, Zeri is probably the one that is most comfortable with having a Kali in the Shroud, right? Like he doesn't like Burst Fire doesn't care if you're invisible.
Yep. All you have to do is guess where he is.
Yeah, like kind of guess where he is. Go for the Burst Fire in that general direction, and then. Yeah.
And if you get a hit, then if someone dies, then just keep spamming. You have your teammates as well to spam with you. Just keep watch of the horse,
Yeah. Really, like I said, the Akali and the Hecarim are going to be what they're going to have to use against the Zeri, maybe against the TF. If ever the Twisted Fate becomes the biggest problem, then they can go for that instead and go use the momentum to finish the fight ahead. And going for these team fights, this is actually a very exciting game. So building up for this game 2, which could be the last game for our best of 3 if Ataraxia Blue is not able to fight back.
Yeah, and as we go into the game already, let's see if West Point Esports can get this dominating 2-0, or will Ataraxia Blue be able to catch up in this, as we're seeing everyone on the side of West Point Esports Academy path bot trying to get
Did Ataraxia Blue see everyone? Okay, I think I think because they saw everyone, that was basically the signal for Luke Justine to go for a Raptor Ward against West Point Academy. That should give them a little bit of info on where Austerity is, though I do think that the ward's a little bit early. If they already knew that everyone from Academy was already bot side, I think Luke Justine could have afforded to delay the ward a little bit to get as much info out of it as possible. But seems like Austerity is gonna have a pretty good leash onto this bot side here. Pivot onto top side, maybe get Relhia ahead. That could be the game plan for West Point Academy, or go for the very vulnerable Veigar here. Actually, Encore Info is also very vulnerable because he doesn't have flash.
Yeah, everyone is quite squishy on the side of West Point Esports Academy, and having that Akali can be a hassle for them. Agrona is gonna be trying to poke out this Veigar to prevent him from getting those stacks, because as a Veigar, all you have to do is land your Qs, last hit the minions.
Yeah, just gotta stay vibing in your lane and get those last hits with your Qs. So Baleful Strike there, and West Point Academy Esports, we're gonna have to see how these junglers, because I do think that junglers are gonna be the key here in this game, as I do with most games, where I do think that the jungler dictates the tempo for like the whole laning phase, and therefore sets up the red carpet for the mid game. Meanwhile, Austerity, seeing how he paths, seems like he's going for a relatively full clear here. Could go for Encore Unfa here, but honestly, Silas level 2, level 3 is kind of bad. So I'm not expecting too much from that end, though I do see the point in ganking a flashless Akali.
Yeah, well, Silas can do a really good job at level 3 because of the consistent auto attacks, but the Akali can do a decent one, especially in terms of damage. Like, if you have lots of energy, then you can just spam your Qs and also get maximize your passive against the Silas.
It is a pretty good matchup though, because Encore can't really go for too much CS. Like here, I think Relia is doing a very good job at denying Encore and Fall a lot of CS here, because it's very threatening to, like you said, the constant auto attacks coming in from Silas, but I don't think it's enough to go for a straight up gank. They could go for, I don't think a dive is the play here. It's a little bit too risky to accidentally give a double kill onto an Akali, but in comes a Twilight Shroud as well. Relia taking a lot of turret shots here, and with that Twilight Shroud keeping alive so much, and this gank doesn't really accomplish much, and Relia just took a lot of damage. No
Shroud though now.
Yeah, no Shroud now. They can actually go for it indeed, but that's going to be a turret shot being taken here. Ignite being burned here by Encore to scare them away, but he survives with a sliver of HP, and I do think this is just going to end up as a mutual recall for both of these top laners.
Yeah, that's one summoner in exchange for one. And, well, at that, they kind of denied a little bit of CS onto Encore and Fa. So, that's still a relatively okay win for them, since Luke Justin didn't really get anything out of that. And the CS are matched for both junglers, so not much really at risk for austerity. Meanwhile, on the bot side, you know, Lucas just doing work as a Kai'Sa. I think this is going to be a lethality Kai'Sa with not really the AP one, as they are lacking on that damage department.
Yeah, I guess. Possible. Depends on how he's going to build up here. Could just be hybrid Kai'Sa with Manamune Nashers. Could also go for like I don't think Kraken Slayer is the play here. Might be like just a general crit mythic here, but West Point. Let's see how he itemizes. At this point, I'm not really feeling the Trundle yet. Like I haven't, like the pillars are funny, but I haven't. That might change as they go for a gank here. Like pillars are really good at keeping Mist in check here. Allow Luke Justine to go get into position to get the kill, but so
normally we see it with a Vayne instead, right?
Yeah. So we don't really. I'm not really feeling the Trundle support here. They haven't really gotten any big trades to really
and
make it shine.
Austerity's back top again.
Yep, Austerity back top. He's trying this. There's no Ignite. Encore and Relia depends on how close they are to level 6. At around 6 minutes, they shouldn't be level 6 just yet, so I think he's just gonna go wait around the wings here. Who is 6 though is Agrona. They can go for a 3v1. I think 3113 recognizes that. He's moving his way up already.
Yeah, no Shroud for you now.
Yeah, no Shroud, so they can actually just go for it. That is going to be 3v1. Sonic Wave into Resonating Strike is an easy kill. Exchanging that for the first Drake, which is Hextech Drake. I think that's pretty much worth it. I think that's worth it for West Point. To trade away one Hextech Drake for First Blood. That could be enough to send Relia and Austerity moving forward.
Yeah, I nearly got the kill though by 3113. Good attempt, but I think they are ready for that scenario since they got the dragon as well. Bot lane is doing a really good job. Mist not really dealing that much damage as of the moment. We mostly see it from Lucas, but now Relia. Ooh.
Oh, he's going for it. Even he does have the Akali ulti in his pocket right here, and he does have the help of Austerity. So I think he is a little bit too low here. I think the best play here is for Austerity to just shove the wave so that Relia can recall pretty much for free without needing to lose a lot of CS. So yeah, just shoves in a little bit. I think he's going to lose a little bit, but not too much. Meanwhile, bot lane. Yeah, before first recall, there's not going to be a lot of action. And like I said, I'm not really feeling this Trundle support. The trades are bad since Mist doesn't really get in range and Forgotten can just Tongue Lash. So far, we might see it shine later in the game when they actually go for more aggressive ganks. Mist is going to take a lot of damage. Exhaust coming through. They have 2 exhausts, so they can double exhaust if they so need. And Lucas picks up the kill. Finally, the Trundle gets to do something, but that might bite them in the back here. So Sterry going for the kill onto Knuckles. That's going to be Agrona getting pushed away, but Luke Justine. But Lucas is now behind enemy lines. Going to get taken down. Austerity gets a double kill there. So 1 for 2. Not worth it there for Ataraxia Blue, and West Point Esports picks up a 3-0-0 Lee Sin that can take over this early game.
Yeah, they're really proactive in this. This is what we talked about a while ago. Agrana with the Destiny is gonna be the one responsible for these rotations, and they got the perfect opportunity to do that after Mist got taken down, but they expended so much resources to do so. And having all the kills go onto Austerity is gonna be the one to actually bully, since he's so ahead on his opponent, the jungler, Luke Justin, and he can actually one-shot these champions like Kaisa, the Veigar, even the Akali later on. So that's one of the reasons maybe why West Point Esports are letting him get this. But perfect execution.
It's gonna go for Relia ignited as well, but he's gonna abscond. It flashes out of the perfect execution, but he doesn't have any backup, and Knuckles picks up the kill. And that is going to be a kill for Ataraxia Blue. I don't think they can get too much other than Rift Herald from that. So let's see how West Point Academy trades it back. They're not really getting anything out of that, so it's just gonna be a kill. So Encore Unfo doesn't feel so bad about getting his CS denied and not getting a kill.
Yeah. 2-3 on the scoreboard at 9 minutes. Look, Justin is changing his style in this game, but nice steal by Austerity even a bonus kill. That's how fed the Lee Sin is.
Yeah, and they're gonna go straight in for the missile dive into an easy kill for Miss. So I think the floodgates are open. After that steal plus kill from Austerity, I was actually surprised that Rift Herald took that long from Lake Justine when they had like 3 members topside, but I suppose this is where the floodgates open and West Point starts dominating Knuckles. He is gonna get stunned, he's gonna get knocked out. Flashes over though, turret shots onto Agrona here. He does flash out of it. Now Forgotten is the one taking the turret shots. The thick skin does not save him right there, but Agrona is still able to pick up the kill. So that's 1 for 1, but the kills are more evenly spread. Or rather, the gold, West Point Esports gets more gold of that because of the assists and a few of the plates.
And it's just Knuckles that got the kill, not really like anyone like Lucas or 3113. And the gold funnelings are the best. Only 1 kill on the ADC, and most are on the support. Looking at how they can scale though, so with the Veigar, with the Kaisa, they can still turn this around, especially with the Akali later on. He's just struggling a little bit since Sylas is a hassle on the top lane, especially with Austerity helping him out constantly. And he can just continue to do that. Maybe not this time though, since Ocean Drake is coming up the next 20 seconds, but perfect execution.
Yeah, he's gonna go for the abscond as well. That's gonna be the Twilight Shroud. Relia missing the guess as well, but in comes Encore Unfo, goes for the perfect execution, and he uses his own to get away from dodge, get out of dodge there. But Relia does have priority in this lane though, but the longer that this goes, the more that it's okay for Encore Unfo. He gets his Twilight Shroud back. He can get some damage onto Relia, but I think he just has to back off. Relia does have his teleport as well, so once he goes for a recall, he can just easily get back into lane. So after he finishes bullying Encore Unfo, he can actually, it's a pretty good position to recall, spend his gold, maybe go for the Drake fight with a TP, or just go back to lane. Oh no, immediate stopped the safeguard, but it's not gonna be enough as a story there. He picks up another kill and missed. Yep, Zeri, I forgot that Zeri can just like skate over the the Trundle pillar, and here Luke Justine gonna try and run, catch the mid wave, but not too much. Agrona going for a gank topside doesn't accomplish much, but there's the global pressure from West Point Academy happening.
Yeah, and Mist and the Forgotten are having a decent time in the bot lane. They don't really have to contest them and everything.
They're going for the fight here. Skates over onto the other side, and Knuckles, and they're going to go for a dive on the top side as well. Misses the abscond, but it's okay. Agrona picks up the kill. They do pick up. Okay, Luke Justine tries to steal for the Drake there, but unable to do it. Knuckles has to pay for it with his life. Ultrashock Laser comes through. Miss going to get exhausted, but the rest of the team's there for the damage. Gets knocked up, but Killer Instinct over the wall to reset the... Oh, gets stopped by the Event Horizon. Flashes over, but 3113 goes for the burst. And that's gonna even up the score here, rather even up the kills in that sense. And 3113 gets a big shutdown. Still 5k gold behind, but they are fighting back.
Yeah, especially that it's 3113 that got the shutdown gold. That is actually huge. 850 gold right onto his pocket. So that's gonna help him in his scaling, especially on his items later on. And if we look back again on the comp, yes, they deal a lot of damage. Yes, they can gank so much. Yes, they are very mobile. but they can just get one shot by the Veigar at late game. If we check out the stacks, it's already 131. That is
a lot.
already okay. 10 stacks per minute is decent for a Veigar.
And here, they're going to try and go for Relia here, but he's dealing a lot of damage back as well. He doesn't have any backup just yet, but he still has his flash. But he's just still coming back in, using the Kingslayer to really get that HP back going for him. And with his backup incoming, that's going to be good pillar there coming in from Knuckles, but Relia still looking for it. In comes the Twilight Shroud, flashes over into the Epscon, gets the kill. Here comes Forgotten here for the support. The Tongue Lash doesn't quite hit, but that's pretty much a 1v2 outplay there by Relia. And in comes Austerity, another 3v2 happening here. Gets the gold card onto Luke Justine, dealing a lot of damage, not able to do anything. Meanwhile, Mist zaps him out of existence. And this is going to be good. Abscon, no follow-up just yet. It is going to be the Shuriken Breath coming back in. Kingslayer giving him the HP that he needs. In the Twilight Shroud is not enough. Australia picks up another kill. That's 7k gold. More damage. 3-1-3. Can he burst someone down though? No, he's going to get taken down by all that CC. Almost killing Austerity, but he does have that little bit of shielding to keep them alive. 8k gold lead. That's the game plan for West Point Esports. I was going to say that West Point has a deadline of 25 minutes. If they don't tear down inhibs by 25 minutes, Ataraxia Blue can outscale. But here, they're really turning up foot on the gas, on the pedal, and they're going full speed. Agrona though, he doesn't have any mana. He does have his flash still, but I think he's just gonna die. Unless,
no mana
I'm
though.
pretty sure he's dead. No mana for
he just
wild card.
stood up and accepted his fate and just gave it to the horse.
Big shutdown, but once again, this is still 8k gold deficit, which West Point Academy can still really leverage in their favor, just using Austerity and Relia. And Mist is starting to scale up, already got the Triforce, that's big.
We're seeing a tank Akali build here on Angkor and Fog.
What? Is this dead? They killed this.
Yeah, they actually took this down on their, the patches.
What was it, 12.4 or 12.3? Where they either way, it's not happening. So that's why he keeps losing these. That's why Relia was able to 1v2 because Angkor and Hua has outdated itemization.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. Yeah.
Ooh, that's rough. That's pretty much this game is pretty much a 4v5 right now. Relia taking a lot of damage. Big shutdown onto Lucas. Means that they're gonna have to get away from him. Nice dive. In comes Austerity here. Maybe go for a finishing resonating strike. No, just threaten them away. Lucas looking for a kill. They kind of go for the Swift Herald, and I do think they have control over it, but Austerity can try and steal it again. It's a level 11 smite versus a level 9. Oh, they don't even have their smiter with them. But in comes Forgotten, in comes Mist. They're pretty much just letting Austerity get the knockup. They do get the knockup onto Lucas. They deal a lot of damage. Ultra Shock Laser goes wide, but it's still going to be a kill as Austerity picks it up. Here comes Luke Justine though. Can he go onto Mist? He is going to try, but there's not enough damage. Sonic Wave misses. Knuckles goes for the Subjugate, but is it going to be enough? 3-1-1-3. Can he get a sneaky kill here? Double stun with the Event Horizon. Now they're stuck in Sandwich. In comes the Onslaught of Shadows. Austerity able to pick up the kill. Sonic Wave to go for the killing blow here against this Veigar. 3-1-1-3 goes down, maintaining a 10k gold lead, and Herald is still up for the taking after they recall.
Yeah, they actually almost, made that turnaround. However, the Sonic Wave hitting from Austerity made it work. Unfortunately, 3-1-1-3 doesn't have that much damage yet. It's gonna take time. I mean, it's still just 17 minutes in the game. The problem, though, is that Relia is being a monster. There's an Ignite. Can he actually get a kill? The answer is no. Not much damage from the Akali.
Angkor and Hua, though, there's not a lot of damage. I think a few patches too late on that, and it's a little bit just very, very unfortunate here. Meanwhile, this pretty much means that West Point Esports Academy's gold lead is actually more like 12k, I would say, rather than 9 or 10k at this point, just because of the camp tank being the play here.
And it might have been better if he went for the AP build, because he can't shred, instantly kill Mist anymore, or Agrona. It's just, okay, well, he can sustain a little bit more, but so does Aurelia. I mean, even more so on Aurelia because of the Kingslayer. And he can't go 1v1 anymore. So it's a big disable on the draft here of Ataraxia Blue. They have to rely on Justin. Well, they have to rely on 3113 and Lucas primarily. Especially 3113 for the burst later on. No longer on the Akali.
Yeah. The biggest thing really is that it takes, I mean, he can still get those Chemtech stacks, but because it's capped per movement instance, he has to move around a lot more and deal more instances of damage every time to get those turbo Chemtech stacks. And at that point, West Point Academy's already stabilized the team fight, and he's not able to assassinate Agrona or Mist or deal a lot of sustained damage, which is what the turbo Chemtech Akali build was all about, like sustained damage where you just don't die. But here it's a little bit tough to make it work, especially since West Point Academy is already so ahead.
Oh, it hurts so much.
Has to use Onslaught of Shadows defensively, but in comes Relia, goes for Ebscon onto the cannon minion, gets the root. Actually, good chain lash there, but is gonna get bursted down by 3-1-3. In comes the Destiny, so it's gonna be look at that. Lightning Crash. He's gonna get stunned by the Event Horizon though, but it's gonna get swallowed up by Forgotten. That gives him enough space to survive. Agrona picks up the kill against Knuckles, and now Encore une fois. Look at these good Event Horizons keeping his team alive. Nice stasis there from Agrona, able to get the kill. Aurelia takes down Encore une fois, and it's gonna be the knock-up here, ensuring the kill. And it is an ace in favor of West Point Academy.
Yeah, this is where we see the difference now of the Akali versus the AP one. I think they could have turned that fight around if they did have the necessary damage. This time though, well, Rabadon's death cap on top of the Everfrost should allow 3113 to be able to burst even more. But still, 11k gold lead, going 12,000 already by West Point Esports, and these Dragon stacks just keep coming. So their sustainability, their durability is increasing over time because they have full control over these objectives, and even the Baron now is being their target. Knuckles is just gonna die.
Yeah, pretty sure there's no saving him at this point. There's not a lot of utility on the side of the Trundle at this stage in the game.
Oh!
Damage from 3113 is there though, able to kill one member where all the gold is concentrated, but the rest of West Point Esports Academy still able to deal a lot of damage. Mist comes in with a burst fire, picks up the kill onto Lucas, and yeah, at this point, even though they take out Austerity, because the rest of the team of West Point Esports Academy is kind of like riding on his success, even if he goes down, he's already enabled the rest of his team and given them the items that they need. So it's okay if he goes down, and he just needs to deal like initial burst of damage, and then after that he's fine.
Well, if Ataraxia Blue can stall this out 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, I think they can turn this around. Given the fact that 3113 already has 200 plus stacks, if his AP reaches 1,000, he can just obliterate anybody. And the cooldown of his W increases further and further.
And maybe if Encore une fois gets his demonic embrace, I guess, even though it's really scuffed at this point, like right now if he sells the Chemtech and buys an AP item, it's still very bad because it's a lot of gold lost. They do take the Baron here, but I think they can just jump over without any problems.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is really tough for Ataraxia Blue. And with a 14k gold lead, if they can stall to 40 minutes, it's mostly if West Point is trolling, right? Like, West Point's entire composition wants to win by minute 25, and everything after that is approaching closer and closer to the event horizon where they start losing. But they built up a solid enough lead that their deadline pretty much got moved to like 30 minutes. So if they win before 30 minutes, that's pretty much on schedule.
Oh
no.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is still abscond. A little bit too overzealous, but here comes the rest of the cavalry. That's a 1-for-1 trade. Gold card on to 3113 there. He goes down. That's going to be the turret being taken out as well with a waves crashing in. Possibly an inhib? They have 4 members. They have Baron buff. They can probably do it. They have a lot of power on their side as well. Austerity bursting Lucas' team down. In comes the Akali here. Oh, just misses. Runs over. Assassination opportunity here for Encore and Quad. They do get it, but it's going to be an inhibitor going down here for for Ataraxia Blue. That's one nail in the coffin here. And West Point Academy's looking to forge some more.
Yeah, they can just get this dragon since Luctasin is pretty much dead for the next 15 seconds. And Knuckles might be again, you know, he is not as tanky as he is, especially against Austerity. And now Encore and Fog. Oh! Not Encore and Fog.
That is, misses the second Sonic Wave. He can win everything, but Austerity misses another Sonic Wave. He just goes over a little bit of a dance with Encore and Fog. Agrona is left out in the open long enough, but he's going to try and go for the double kill here. Cannot run through the event horizon, but
he's
it is going to be enough. It's burning as a Sonic Wave as well. Finally hits the one that matters. Kicks away the horse. Onslaught of Shadow is going to come in. Forgotten gets eaten up, saved, and he has a huge shield. Quadra goes to Austerity. And look at that, the synergy from West Point, keeping Austerity alive, keeping him at his 18-3-3 score. Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. It outplays out of outplays. And things are just looking dimmer and dimmer for the side of Ataraxia Blue. Looking at the gold lead, 15,000 rather. Austerity is a monster on this season. Absolute confidence. 18-3-5 on his scoreboard. And still has a bounty after bounty after bounty.
Yeah, and at this point it's a little bit too hard for Encore and Fog can't even get the kill onto Aurelia here. He needs the help of his team. Sure, he can flip Marcus there, but I don't think they're going to be trying for this. Nice. Lightning Crash, though, is going to allow him to go for the kite here. In comes Luke Justine. Like I said, he's going to be the best tool here to stick onto that Zeri. So here, West Point Academy is like doing some micro throws a little bit. They're still 15k gold ahead, but if they keep throwing like this, Ataraxia Blue could get some resources in their hands into 3113 and Lucas's pockets here.
They can just go with this as long as they want. I mean, Lucas is basically overextending at this point. Lee Sin is coming, like Austerity is here. With help of Forgotten. Yeah, he can just go in. Oof! Oh, disgusting damage!
No, that's just disgusting. He doesn't even have a lot of survivability. Like the only thing is the action arc to go for the resets. That's why he's been getting so many multi-kills, is the action arc is helping him out. He doesn't need
Veigar's not there.
Yeah, and he doesn't need anything like Gourd Rinker. He just goes for the Prowler's Claw to get those repeated kills and just go for more Dragon's Rages.
Yeah, especially because of his item. Oh man, he even has Moth Malmortis already.
Okay, that's like one
Mark.
defensive tool that he has against 3-1-3. But yeah, at this point he can just pretty much face roll and outplay
anyone.
Anyone at this point. It's very, very difficult to lock him down, and they're marching down mid. They have super minions. This is going to be very, very tough to take down. They're going to go for the bot lane turret just to play it a little bit more by the book, but they can honestly just force anything very, very fast.
Oh no, 3-1-3 is dead.
In comes the Onslaught of Shadow, stolen by Aurelia. Look at that, Austerity comes in like a grenade, takes everyone out. Lucas is going to be last on the chopping block, but in comes Mist to finish the job. Bot inhib down. This is going to be a straight up 2-0 by West Point Esports Academy. As 30 seconds on the death timers means that Ataraxia Blue has no chance of getting back in this game. And we have our Prominence Crown Cup Kings for Season 2. It's going to be the boys from West Point Esports Academy.
Yeah, congratulations to West Point Esports Academy. Well-deserved victory, indeed.
Yeah, I mean, both of their comps were... I think both of their comps were pretty thematic. I did like the first game draft a lot more than the second game, but Austerity was pretty much the star of the show there, where he was getting kills left and right, and it's not just for himself too. Every time he gets a kill, he gives assist gold to Agrona and Miss, and that allowed them to just constantly ramp up. Even when he goes down, but at the later stages of the game, he didn't even go down at all.
It's well, a sweep, but a good job as well by Ataraxia Blue. Definitely, they did put a good work on this and a good attempt on trying to come back in this game. It was just a little bit unfortunate on some of the builds and some of the plays that they have made. And overall, well, the discipline on West Point Esports, it can be seen in the series. Definitely, well, all throughout the tournament, we have seen it.
Yeah, and this is really what I like to see about West Point. The organization is that they have a diverse range of talent in their rosters, and the way Academy plays is quite different from how I see their Team 1 plays, and it's nice. There's a lot of flexibility, a lot of versatility in their players, and cultivating this kind of talent needs time to grow, and they have put resources into that. And I'm hoping Ataraxia can do the same with their rosters, because there's a lot of standout players here as well, like 3113 and Lucas as well, and Knuckles. Even though a lot of the time he was the one that got ganked constantly.
And well, I think we have an interview with West Point Esports, since they are the winners of Prominence Crown Cup Season 2. Well, initially, congratulations to them. And well, congratulations as well to the other teams that have participated, especially the ones that reached the semifinals and the grand finals. So yeah, West Point Esports Team 1, we have Sadbois, we have Ataraxia, Blue. They are the teams that showcased very well how great they are in playing League of Legends, and especially adapting to the meta.
And West Point Esports Academy does get half of the $500 US dollar prize pool, which is $250. But for all of you fans of Ataraxia Blue out there, don't fret. The team is still getting 125 USD for their trouble. They did reach second place. They did reach the finals of Prominence Crown Cup, and that is something to be proud of for this roster.
And let's just wait for them. Gonna be waiting for them if yeah, we're gonna be having an interview. But we also have a winner for the I'm not sure if Stuart Galok is here on the for the giveaway. So because of that, well, we are gonna be preparing a bit for the interview. So we're just gonna be going on a very, very short break. But when we come back, we're gonna be checking out on West Point Esports on what their plans is and how they are feeling. All right, welcome back to Prominence Crown Cup Season 2. We have our winners. Congratulations, West Point Esports Academy. But before we dive into the interview, we're going to be announcing again our winner for the giveaway. Congratulations to Rain and Francisco. You are the winner of the giveaway of Prominence Games. Please message their page to claim your prize. Again, congratulations to Rain and Francisco. You are the winner for the giveaway. Please message Prominence Games to claim your prize. And we are here now for the interview with West Point Esports Academy. We have Austerity and Forgotten with us. Shall we go?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Hello. Hi guys.
Hello.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Yo, so initially, first and foremost, congratulations on your wonderful victory, a 2-0 sweep at the Grand Finals. With your victory, how's the feeling? Kamusta naman?
I think it's fantastic naman. We're happy. I think the part that we're most happy about is the semifinals. The fact that we beat T1 shows that how much potential as a team we have. That's my thoughts.
Tama.
Yeah, that's actually really nice, especially on the Zeri pick. That was fantastic. Really intense. How about you, Hiron?
Yeah, and going from that answer about being able to beat and actually reverse sweep yung the West Point Esports T1. Of course, it feels great, and as you said, it shows a lot of potential. Your drafts and your playstyle is distinct enough, no? Like, it's distinct enough from the from T1 that you have your own identity. But I just want to know as well, no? Like, how involved is the Team 1 when it comes to your practice or your training? Like, how involved is the Team 1 to the Academy's growth? Like, of course, there's a lot to play ni Sir Isle, and of course, I just want to know how involved nga yung Team 1 sa growth niya as an Academy team.
Well, for me, I have to give a shout out to VP Kalumya, Andre, because he always does me in care. He teach me a lot of things, my mistakes, how to play support actually in Korea. So I'm very thankful for that because he's like a mentor to me. So I think that's all.
What about
There's
you?
a really good mentorship.
Ako kay Revelate, nagpapaturo ako sa kanya ng mga tips sa jungle.
So talagang hands-on yung Team 1. The Team 1 members are very hands-on when it comes to teaching you guys and helping you grow as a team. And even then, you've grown to have your own identities, no? Like how Revelate plays, quite different from how you play Austerity, and of course, kung paano mag-support si kung excuse me, si Calumnia as well, like helping you get those calls into your head when you're starting to play. And of course, one you mentioned like in Korea, and I do think that's one of the edges that the West Point rosters have. No, like, how much do you guys train like in other servers, especially in Korea? No, that's like place to go to train, right? Like the server to go to train.
Pause pa.
We play Korea every day. We play Vietnam. My Austerity goes to Vietnam if he wants to do with someone. I grind Korea every day if I don't have work or assignments to do. Like 8 games at least per day if I can.
And I want to ask you guys though about the semifinals. West Point Esports Academy being able to beat like your seniors, the ones you look up. How did it feel when you done that reverse sweep?
I'm so fucking happy, to be honest. I can't put it to words. Like, damn! In game 2, I was like throwing. I was 192. But my team master, they don't try to trash talk me. I love the fact that they we play as a team talaga. I'm very thankful na ganun sila sa akin. Kasi, ayun, dahil doon, di ako nasiraan ng mental ko. Ganun.
So everyone's positive on each other.
Yes,
Like,
they try
full
to support each other
Yeah.
as much as possible without trash talking. Yes.
No pressure.
What about you, Hiron?
Combinations like the international, like training and grinding in other servers, especially Korea, Vietnam. Those are like very powerful servers in Asia. Being able to play as a team na kahit may 1-9 and 2 may nagtathrow, you just uplift each other, and of course, just that synergy as a team, no? That's very good to see. What about you, Gian?
Yeah. I want to ask though, how was your overall experience here at Prominence Crown Cup season 2? Like, yung swap, was it smooth? Did you encounter any problems? Or
Would you join season 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it the experience good enough that you would keep grinding in these Prominence tournaments?
I think our experience is good. Honestly, of course, we have problems on the road, especially against Team 1, where we struggled the most. And against our finals game against ARB. From season 3 Prominence, I think we're gonna join. Yeah, and we're gonna defend our champion. Still gonna be champions.
Oh, may championship title na sila to defend dito sa Prominence here in Prominence Crown Cup, you know.
What are your plans next? Do you have any upcoming tournaments that you are already registered and preparing for?
Or what are the other? Yeah. Actually, let's go for Gian's question. Yeah. Do you have any preparing for in particular, or are you just like training and polishing that skill?
We have tournament in Korea. We have to go diamond, at least diamond 3. The price pool is actually very high, so that's why we're grinding very hard right now.
Oh.
Well, good luck on that, especially you had a very well-deserved victory here. Definitely a lot of people were amazed by your performance and looking forward to support you in your next endeavors, especially in Korea, diba? It's a nice way to show the people, especially the players there internationally, that Filipinos have a fighting chance in the international scene in League of Legends. Any shoutouts you'd like to make aside from your mentors a while ago?
Shout out kay Revelate, idol.
I don't know. I want to give a shout out to my family who's actually watching right now. My father and mother. They're actually watching right now. They share the stream.
Nice.
So they're in the
Supportive.
other room right now. They're very, very supported. I love them very much.
Yeah, esports is very nice right now. It's very different. It's quite different from
5
years
ago,
before. Yeah,
3
5,
years ago,
7 years ago. This is the time for esports, and definitely parents are very, very proud to see their children, their sons, their daughters perform and be very good at what they love to do.
And I want to give a final shout out to Revel and Jer Agrona. Give what you want and what you do.
It's really a close-knit roster, no?
Yep. Any last any more questions, Hiron? Or
I think that's okay. Actually, one last thing from me is like, what do you think that?
Or who's the team you're looking out now?
Yeah. What's a team you're looking out for in your future tournaments locally? Like, any Philippine teams that you've been looking out for, other than of course the Team 1.
Who do you think is the biggest threat so far?
Sa ngayon, wala. Team 1 pa lang.
Oh.
Yeah.
Before, it was like Guardians High versus West Point Esports, or like way back 2020 West Point Esports, and then Play Loud Esports, something like that, on the local tournaments. Now, no one so far is a threat to you guys.
Wala.
I like it. I love that. I love that.
Love that confidence, and of course they're gonna keep. You guys are gonna keep practicing so that if Challenger does come up, you guys can just work together and beat them.
Yes, and of course, yes. thank you so much for attending our winner interview. Again, congratulations for being the grand champions of this Prominence Crown Cup Season 2. We look forward to seeing you again to defend your title and your spot at the Season 3. But for now, we're going to be bidding goodbye. Thank you, Austerity and
you.
Forgotten.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. See you guys.
See you. Sige po, Bob.
And that concludes our Prominence Crown Cup Season 2 League of Legends tournament. It has been really fun. We learned a
Great
lot.
2 days. I was watching the VODs, the games were intense, and it's really good to see West Point Esports continuing. The organization as a whole, right? Continuing to cultivate League of Legends talent here in the Philippines. So, yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much, everyone that has stayed to watch. And of course, congratulations to all of the teams that reached top 4, and of course to the viewers that won their $10 as well.
Yeah. And thank you so much to Prominence Games for having us. It has been amazing and fulfilling. We look forward to giving you guys a better show. Of course, better and amazing, entertaining show with the teams showing how talented they are and how really good they are in playing League of Legends. But for now, we're also going to be bidding goodbye. This is Gyung Gaming and Hyron signing off a Prominence Crown Cup Season 2. See you again at Season 3.